Hear from everybody and that we were all able to join in tonight, take our minds off all the events and kind of turn ourselves to an even darker place, Barovia. Really kind of dig in the grit. um, but hopefully this will still be fun. We get to pick up with a pretty exciting victory on our teams, but let's get into our recaps. Tonight we'll kick off our recaps with Serva, if you don't mind starting our recaps tonight.
Yeah, so we had found Baba Lysaga. She had a crazy house and a flying skull, kind of like a ship in a mix of like a pod racer. So that was fun. Then I got hit by Power Word Stun, which is it's she has it, so she should use it. I should expect that. And it was just kind of funny that whole fight I just kind of took some Z's for it, but it was really exciting to see Dimitri in action, especially like using that sword, kicking that door open. It was very fun to watch. Everyone kind of used their abilities well. Also, our allies turned out to be very useful. Casimir was quite a very integral part of that fight. He contributed a lot, and we got some neat items. Elward got a book of flesh golems, though I don't think we have anywhere near the amount of gold for him to make that, or the amount of time. But if we somehow find the time and money to do it, I'm all for it. I think that would be an interesting fourth puppet, even though he's probably got something else in mind. And now we've kind of gone back through the swamp. We're meeting with I don't remember her name. Let me check. Well, it was one of the Mardikovs, basically. And now we've kind of gotten over to a new area. I believe we rolled for encounters, and we've got one coming up, so very excited to see where that goes. And yeah, kind of blanked out for a bit of that session just because I was kind of like out of it for a bit. But this is how it is, and that's the fun of higher level spells.
Yeah, indeed. Power Word Stun was crippling. A very frustrating thing to happen to you, but survived and was still able to help with her aura of protection a few times. Thank you. Definitely go ahead and take your inspiration. And indeed, we returned the second of 3 magic gems. The third still lost to us, but the wine supplies are ever growing, becoming more bountiful. Thank you. Go ahead and take your inspiration, and we'll see who's next. To next will be Elward, if you don't mind continuing our recaps.
Yeah, outside of fighting, I really enjoyed Waba's speech about how Strahd's her son, and getting a few more backstory on not just Baba but Strahd as well. It's nice it's nice when the enemy or uh, evil entity in stories are just like not born inherently evil or just evil because they're evil. It's nice that they have some reasoning or backstory. Of course, there's not much sympathy because of all the evil that Strahd's done, but it's nice to know where he just didn't come out the womb just evil and hating the world. And yeah, it's interesting to see if Baba did kill Strahd's real mother, or it's just something that's in her deranged head. Or yeah, perhaps she really did care for him and slowly build up this anger that he had towards his brother and his crush. But yeah, that's about it. I just enjoy that. Most of the villainous people that we've come into weren't just born evil, but they have a reasoning at least.
Yeah, I think that's an excellent point, and kind of holds the weight of the value of this adventure and why it's so memorable. The story that every step of our story, we're not only learning about ourselves and Barovia, but we're kind of just slowly discovering the story of Strahd and how it came to be. And yeah, I totally agree. I think those more well-rounded, more motivated bad guys just make for more fun. Thank you. Go ahead and take your inspiration, and we'll see you next. Yeah, the Joker is a very excellent example of that as well. Those villains, they're multidimensional. Next will be Dimitri, if you don't mind continuing our recaps.
Yeah, we went and fought Baba Saga. It was a bit more powerful than I think we expected, but it we still ended up taking her out with the help of our allies, both of which Casimir and Van Richten both helped out in different ways with their spells. And then Nisha doing like a bunch of damage, being greater and being having greater invisibility. And then we got the Journal of Strahd, or Strahd's Diary, or Strahd's Journal, or whatever it was. So maybe that will give us a little insight more into who Strahd is and what makes him tick. Baba Lysaga clearly didn't like the Sunblade. She mentioned that it was like Strahd's brothers, I think, at one point, and she didn't seem very happy that we had it. And it ended up what struck her down. So that probably won't make Strahd any happier. But yeah, it was. Dimitri is alive thanks to both Nisha casting counterspell, and then Elward giving up his inspiration for it. Very appreciative of that. Thank you. That was a great moment. Just canceling that high level spell, and yeah, I think we just had really good teamwork against Baba Saga, and I think that's why we made it out. But yeah.
Yeah, you guys, the synergy and the quality of play, the strategy was so excellent in that fight. That fight against Baba Saga, that is an infamous location of TPK, and you guys killed it. Did really well. Obviously, a few of us had some fears, as you mentioned. Dimitri just barely escaped to some good spell casting and teamwork. But thank you. Go ahead and take your inspiration. And indeed, we have Sergei the Paladin, Sun Sword, used quite a good effect.
Did anybody else have the server interrupted for roll?
Yeah, I did as well. Yeah, I had your connection has been interrupted.
Okay.
Yeah, I was wondering if that was just me or if that was anybody else. Because I had to reset the router like earlier today. But if you got it too, then it's probably just Roll20.
Yeah, I got it too.
Okay, that's what I was worried about, because I got the Google Nest there, and it's been resetting every once in a while, like having hiccups. So I wanted to make sure it was.
I think it's just a lot of people are playing right now.
Yeah, Roll20's been a bit sensitive this past week. It seems like past week or two, honestly. Yeah, I saw like everyone dropped out of Roll20, and I was like, "What the fuck happened?" They didn't like what I was showing. But nah, the server they must have just hiccuped. But thank you. Go ahead and take your inspiration. And tonight we'll close out our recaps with Nisha.
Yeah, for me, fun fact. I meant to mention it at the end of the battle last week, but there was a very small part of me that was gonna have Casimir stay back with the Mardukov lady, because I was like, I don't really feel like playing two characters. Like, I'll just my brother's kind of a sissy anyways. Like, I'll have him stay back. I'm like, he's got some nice spells. Maybe I'll have him stay back. But then I was like, well, if Lennon wants me to play her, I'll I'll have him tag along and be kind of just a pain in the ass because he's a pain in the ass to Nizia already. So like I'll just have him tag along and kind of be a pain in the ass, and then he ended up being fairly useful overall, just because his spell list is his tact of spell list is very different than mine. So it actually kind of worked out. I also thought it was funny. It's like I don't know if I don't think Nizia. I can't remember 100% if Nizia and Casimir were the first two to go down, but we went down fairly early, and I was like, I was feeling overly confident for a little bit there, and then it was like round 4 when Lennon was like, "Oh, and the tree has blindside." I was like, "Oh fuck, no, this is good. This is about to turn real bad because everyone else is getting hit for like 33. I'm like sitting over here with my 40 hit points, like, yeah, me and Casimir may not be making it out of this fight if we get hit like once, because that's pretty much all our hit points. So the fact that we went down and got back up was moderately useful. Yeah, the greater invisibility helping out for the first couple of rounds. And then mercifully Lennon kind of forgetting about the blind side, I think, as we moved into probably more lethal range of the tree later on there. Trying to think. Let's see. Recovering the orb recovering the orb for the Wizard of Wines, huge. And it's kind of funny. I also thought it was interesting that over the past couple of sessions, we have acquired a not inconsequential amount of magic items for wit the first 24 sessions of this campaign, and Lennon very aggressively telling us that we weren't going to. It's like, hey, it's a very sparse magical world and things like that, and us kind of like finding a couple of finding a couple of treasure hoards. Maybe presumably power scaling at the right time. If this were like an RPG we were playing, we'd be like, oh, cool. Like, hey, we just got this legendary weapon. It's like, oh, hey, and there's the boss fight. Like, so, it sort of seems like the bell may be tolling from a story standpoint. I'm not sure if that's necessarily directly driven for exactly what we're doing based on what we're finding and whatnot, but certainly it seems like events are unfolding to meet certainly an inevitable end narratively, anyways.
Yeah, indeed. I would totally agree with that. A lot of it is you guys just kind of finally fulfilling the Tarokka readings as well, even if the second one was unintentional. But yeah, I mean, you can imagine if you came to Berez earlier, how devastating a fight with Baba Lysaga would be, and even how deadly it could have been for y'all. But you guys played so well, uh, and I thought you played Casimir perfectly, strategically and character-wise. I love that you kept that single. He's so single-minded with let's get to the Ember Temple. We're wasting our time, and I thought that was really good the way you played him. Thank you. Go ahead and take your inspiration. And yeah, any questions before we move back into session? Winrow mentioned that you'd hold off for recaps this time, but I definitely will try to keep in mind of giving you inspiration for roleplay in game.
If memory serves, we were in the midst of a long rest, right? Before we rolled for encounter, is that correct?
That is correct. Yeah, we were about to take a long rest, and that little circle of stones with the animal spirits. There was like 8 with animal glyphs on them, and 4 just big tall ones. Muriel, one of the Markovs, took off with the seed. She showed you her raven form as she flew off.
All right. Let's do this.
Cool. So I'll leave Rudolph and Richten in control of Dimitri, and Casimir will still be in control of Unisia. Just in case you guys need to play as them for this adventure too.
All right, cool.
Oh, Elbert, go ahead and start us off. Roll a d12 and a d8 for me, please. Because we already rolled for the random encounter, so now we gotta see what the random encounter is. No, it's not. It's not dragons. I need a watch order. 1, 2, 3, and 4, please. And Casimir will stick with Nisha, and Rudolph will stick with Dimitri.
Winril said she would take 3, so I guess that puts Casimir and me at 2.
Cool. And Elward, which one do you want? 1. Okay, cool. All right. So that is Winrel. Are you with this, Winrel?
Oh, yeah, 1 second. She was still AFK listening, but yeah, just give her 1 quick second to run back to her.
Yeah, no worries at all. Yeah, why not? Let's drag to a new.
All right, I'm here. Sorry.
And you can just imagine the mean here is kind of standing out on the perimeter of this map, kind of sticking out of the muck and the mud. But as we rest tonight, Winril, you kind of actively searching, kind of on watch during your watch. Perhaps you kind of see the large eyes of big toads kind of scorching out of the mud, a snake or two kind of squirreling across the ground. But let's see if you notice this. You do indeed. Passive perception is pretty high, 16. That beats the 12. As you're under watch, you notice that you see kind of a couple pair of large yellowy looking eyes, kind of what you thought was just another giant toad, kind of seeping up through the mud to the north of you all. And then you see another one, kind of like a big set of eyes and a large kind of tongue kind of roll out and snap a bug to the east, and another one to the south, as it looks like almost like large toads, but not quite. But these 3 seem to be edging closer and closer and closer to your camp. How do you react, Winrel? You're not surprised. You totally noticed this.
Is Serva unconscious still?
Oh no, she's all good.
Oh, okay.
They're unconscious because they're resting, unless they don't have like unless like they're elves like Casimir and Isha, which are trancing.
Okay. So I'll immediately start just like shaking people like hey, and I'll shake Dimitri and Serva since they're the closest.
Oh, what is it?
Something's coming. Come on, wake up.
All right. I'll start getting up.
I'll get up and I'll, if Octavio's next to me, I'll push him awake and yeah.
As you get up, you see these massive, huge, what you thought was the head of a giant toad stand out, and it's a monstrosity of sorts, half giant man, half ogre, half giant toad as they slap out. You see these huge rolling tongues kind of fall out of their mouth. They seem to speak some sort of strange language, or maybe it's just gibberish. And as they splash out of the mud, they were hoping to catch you unawares, but are not able to do so. I need everyone to begin to roll initiative.
Is it actually a language? Like
No.
could understand?
They can't actually speak. It's just like monster noises.
Oh,
Okay.
son of a bitch. That sucks.
Vanderhabs, created by a hag, who's now dead.
Dun dun dun.
Oh, that's weird. It applied Casimir's initiative roll to me for some reason. Oh, I guess I was still clicking on my token. Crap. Sorry. Yeah, sorry. Can you adjust Nesia to 7?
Yeah, you can actually do so too. If you hover over the number next to your name in the turn order, you can click on it. There you go.
Okay, cool. I didn't know that. Okay. And
Oh,
then,
no worries.
And then Casimir's. I need to get him on the turn. I just need to click initiative again to get him on the turn order.
Yeah, select his token and then hit initiative.
Okay, gotcha. And then his first roll was a 20. If we can take that.
Yeah, definitely update it.
All right, perfect.
Cool. Gotta turn off the jazzy music and put on some battle music as we take on some Vanderhops. Casimir, you're the first to awake, or maybe the first to react as everyone's kind of woken up by Winrel. Maybe you're kind of just knocked out of your trance. What do you do?
Casimir works up, pulls from his trance, looking around and seeing the danger, is seemingly annoyed. With this night not end. And he will start to, let's see, he'll reach into his component pouch, pull out some dust and fling it in the air, calling down an ice storm.
Oh, nice. Yeah.
On that guy right there. So do
It's
I
like
have
a
the
20
spell
foot, I
card
think?
here? Yeah, 20-foot radius, 40-foot high.
You should be able to move it wherever you'd like.
Yeah, so I'll do it. Just I can't really get both of them, so I'll do it right there, I guess.
Yeah, that is a good spell. Let me give you a dex save. That's just a save. And he immediately takes the damage, right? I'm not crazy. And then at the start.
Yeah, I believe it's immediate. And then just it turns the area into difficult terrain until the end of your next turn. And then he'll just mutter under his. He'll take a step. Actually, no, he probably wouldn't. He's too much of a coward to step away from the group, so he'd probably just stay there. But he'd just mutter under his breath, abominations, and then pass turn.
Nice. Dimitri, as you kind of wake up your allies as well, you see these creatures, and then a massive cylinder of ice kind of shower down and cover one Vanderhob up. What do you do?
Well, first I'm gonna activate the sensor so I can actually see something.
Oh yeah, do you have sight?
I do, but I mean, I do as a player, but I know it's dark out and I'm a human, so I wouldn't be able to see it.
Okay, cool, thank you.
So yeah, because there's no the dark vision or whatever isn't on this map, which is fine. So, but now lighting it up, I can see, and I will yeah, I'll just move forward to here and take a couple swings.
Oof, yeah, both of those are heavy hits.
I forgot to say two-handed. My bad, because I can only draw one weapon, so I'd use this two-handed right now. So it'd be the 14.
Oh, okay, thank you.
Because usually it's one-handed, but I can only draw and stow one weapon. So it'd be that, and then I'll bonus action disengage and drop back a bit to the group, and then that's it.
As you kind of your sun sword shines upon this creature, the yellow eyes kind of go dilate quite heavily. It looks like it's quite stunned a bit by the light, but it kind of shakes its head, and you get a full sight of this horrible creature. It seemed to be hiding in the shadow a bit, but as your light shines upon it, it's fully revealed. Elward, your turn.
Okie. Sadly, the puppet needs repairs. I'm using Irina after a long while. The puppet's gonna get up to its face. And let's see. I'm not sure what the striking distance of this thing is just yet. So I will move Happy Jack first to try to gauge how far it can hit, and it'll leave 10 feet away from it. Does it do anything?
Nope, not yet.
Nice. And then I will move back a little bit. And then Applejack will fire off a firebolt.
Uh, 10 is just a miss. The firebolt kind of strikes into the skin, but it kind of hits a blubbery part of the hide, not piercing into him.
That's unfortunate. Irina Puppet's gonna stay there and take the dodge action to try to get it to attack it. And that's the turn.
Nice. This Banderhob is gonna, since everything, Irina is close, it does what it's meant to do. It tries to swallow or bite into Irina first.
Yeah. It's gonna hit.
Gonna hit for 24 piercing. And it becomes grappled in like the huge jaws of this Banderhob. And it's gonna try to drag her back. Let me double check the speed. Cool. It goes about that far.
Okay.
Rudolph's turn.
I warned the party that this thing they're trying to take us individually, sort of like the crocodile.
Rudolph is trying to figure out what he was going to do in the first place. I guess as a bonus action, he'll cast Sanctuary on himself. Real quick, and then after that, he will so we didn't have a short rest, so he's gonna actually seeing that Serva is actually a bit hurt, take oh, he can't do cure wounds right now, shit. So he is instead going to I guess that's it. He's gonna stand there, take the dodge action, and try and figure out what these guys are doing, so he can better prepare for next round. Since he's, let's just say he's like a bit unprepared, being just woken up.
Yeah, indeed. These guys aren't the undead. They're not fiends. They're monsters. It's not quite his forte of beast. All right. This Banderhob is gonna go. It's gonna shoot its long, kind of lolling tongue, which just seemed to kind of lay limply outside of his mouth. It's gonna come flying straight for you, Dimitri. And be a miss.
All right.
And then, as a bonus action, it's gonna shadow step 30 feet.
Can you shadow step if there's no shadows? I'm not sure if it's the same.
Oh,
as
thank
the
you,
monk.
thank you. It cannot, because it's in your light. Thank you, thank you. Nisha, your turn. Yeah, it's not a darkness.
Quick question about how one of my metamagics works. I was trying to find a quick ruling on like Sage Advice or something, but I couldn't. With regards to Careful Spell, so it says I can spend one sorcery point. It doesn't say I can't spend more than one sorcery point, but how would you rule on that? Could I technically spend 2 sorcery points and protect twice as many people?
Oh,
Up to your charisma modifier.
right. Yeah, so you can spend one sorcery point, and you can choose a number of those creatures up to your charisma mod. So you're trying to double your charisma mod?
No. Yeah. So what I was asking is, can I expend more than one sorcery point to get more benefit?
I've never encountered that, but most of those do scale a little. Like if you can spend more like that, like if you like do it on a higher level spell, it does more. So I'm actually totally
like twinning spell and things like that. So yeah,
I get it. The way it's worded,
first.
it says to do you spend one and then choose. It doesn't say you choose as many as your sorcery. Yeah, that's weird phrasing.
Yeah, I'm totally okay with that. Like if you spend 2 points, you can be careful with this up to as many as twice your charisma mod, and if you spend 3 and so
Okay,
on. I think that's a clever way of reading.
gotcha. Okay,
It's just never come up for me either.
yeah, yeah. That's why I figure I'd ask, because we just happen to be in a situation where we have extra party members. Well, technically we always have extra party members because of L word. Um, so I'm just like, well, like I want to use a spell, but I don't want to completely dick over half the party. So I figured I'd ask. But if you're cool with that, then yeah, I'd like to roll with that.
Yeah, totally
Okay,
cool.
so I will expend 2 sorcery points to use careful spell to protect our party, every member of our friendly party, including allies and puppets, and I will try a hypnotic pattern at 4th level. It doesn't do anything special at 4th level; just that's the only spell slot I have.
You would know that the puppets are sentinel. As long as ours not controlled, then the puppets can't really take a mind of their own.
What's the area effect? The radius?
It's 120 feet.
Okay, so everything that can see it is ice. Can you tell me if ice storm is makes things obscured at all, lightly or heavily obscured?
Not according to the spell. It seemingly the description of the spell just says it is centered on 1 point.
Okay, cool. So it's just like
No, yeah, it's just difficult terrain. Yeah.
cool. It's not a whiteout. It's just difficult. Thank you. All right. Give me some whiz saves.
Well, I think the problem with darkness, it's the same thing with web. It's that it's like a save each turn, right? Or at least for darkness, I don't think there's a save for darkness, right? It's just like,
Right.
like
That's what I figured. I was just like, that'd be interesting if you could basically just like give everybody dark vision in that way.
Oh yeah. That'd be a little OP. I mean, I get special dark vision in my own darkness, but that's about it.
One of them fails. In fact, the one dragging Irina away. So as your what does your hypnotic pattern look like? Oh, never mind. I see that flashing light with the circles.
Just kind of the flashing light, the circles.
You see the yellow eyes of the Banderhob just kind of begin to mirror that very fluorescent, colorful image, almost kind of doing like a Caw the Snake in the Jungle Book kind of was mesmerizing him. His eyes just go wild, and he becomes charmed. You see his mouth kind of open and lull a bit, and Irina spills out into the mud.
Cool.
Nice use.
And then let's see, Nisia will take probably 1 step back because she's still a little beat up, and then
All right. Despite being injured, I'm not a fan of it. This thing coming a bit closer towards us, so I'm going to first, as a bonus action, a Wrathful Smite. So just getting that ready. Gonna move up forward to this one and hit it twice. Oh, did I cut out? Or
Oh no, I heard you. I totally.
oh, okay.
Go for it. Yeah, you run up and you're going to smack it as its eyes are kind of hiding from the sunlight a bit. It's kind of got his hands up. 13 is just a miss. Kind of maybe like its hands kind of move and block the shaft of your blade.
All right, let's try that one.
That is certainly a hit.
I'm going to use Orcish Fury to deal an extra D10 to that as well. And then I'll roll the Wrathful Smite damage.
Nice, indeed. And Wrathful, what's the secondary effect for Wrathful?
It has to make a Wisdom save, or it is frightened.
It's immune to being frightened.
Oh, well, okay. Well, it doesn't take half damage at least, so it just... my bad. So it'll just take 18. And, I'll stay where I am. Not gonna risk it.
It looks pretty roughed up as you smack into it with a heavy blow with your pole arm. This one is going to kind of sidestep out of the storm, trying its best to get out of the way. It's going to move here. That's a little bit out of, it's too much in. Step back in a little bit. And then it's going to shoot a heavy lolling tongue straight for Casimir. I think 12 is a miss, probably.
12 does hit because I'm assuming mage armor would have expired because it's been way longer than 8 hours since the start of the day in Bubble. But I will use shield on Casimir.
Okay, nice. Then it's going to step out of the light and use Shadow Step. Nah, that's a good spot. It's not going to get it. It's going to stay out of the light. It's fine. Winrail.
Okay. So, can I not see the two that are not in the light? Is that the situation?
No, you can totally see it. You can totally see it. It's like dim light. It's not super dark. It's like it's dark, but you kind of have a little bit of the light.
Okay, cool. I am going to cast. I'm gonna cast a spiritual weapon at the one pulling Irene.
I'll go for it.
Oh, sorry, that got counterspelled.
Oh, for fuck's sake! But at least it still casts. And then I'm gonna move up to this one and attack it.
Go for it. That is certainly a hit as you smack it with your blessed mace.
Okay, I'm just gonna pull out my weapon, but that's it for me.
Casimir's turn.
Seeing the toad kind of stay at the range of maybe some of the light, he'll take a step back and say, "Sister, stay in the light. They do not like it." And then he'll take a step back and he will cast a. Ooh, well, it's the middle of the night. Why not? He's just gonna go nuts. He's gonna cast a fireball.
Go for it. On which one?
I figure. He'll cast it just kind of on the backside of this guy, as not to get in the range here.
Cool.
Here we go. That seems like way too many dice. Hang on. How many?
No, that's 8.
Oh,
yeah, that's right. Yeah.
That was 8? Oh, Jesus. Okay,
You don't know about the power of the fireball.
Yeah. Welcome to Fireball.
Yeah, I know. Well, I was trying to play Nethia all straight and be like, no, she's not gonna have fireball because like that's not her background. So like when Lennon gave me Casimir, I'm like, ooh, fireball.
Yeah, they're not touch fireball in cities.
It's fun to use once in a while. Boom! As this explodes out, the banner hob is caught very unaware. Its eyes kind of gleaming with the light of the sunboard, and Casimir's quite effective spell.
He'll just again kind of muttering, "Take that, thou beast!" And bastard.
Your Dimitri becomes your turn.
Yeah. Let's see. I will. This one up in front looks like it's pretty. So, oh geez, I'll move forward and then strike out at it. Strike out at it twice. With the sneak, I forgot. Does sneak attack work with people within 5 feet, even if it's not ranged?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, totally. I see no reason why you wouldn't have sneak attack, even adjacent ally.
I didn't know. Yeah, I can't. I could. I just couldn't. I just thought of that. And I just couldn't remember if that was only for ranged or not. But all right. So then we'll take 2 swings out, double-handed, or
14 is just a miss.
okay. Second one. Oh my god.
Oh! Sun Sword not quite effective this time.
Two low rolls. And then I will bonus action disengage again and move back to where I was.
You feel the Sun Sword kind of burn with energy as it's like edging you on. Don't back away. Fight! Slay this!
I'm going to.
Give me a minute.
I'm working on it. It's not my fault I rolled real low. And then that's all I can do, really, because technically I haven't had a short rest, so I don't have anything else. And that's it.
Cool. Elward, becomes your turn.
Okay. What am I seeing with this?
Oh, you felt like your chakra string is kind of beginning to get pulled away as it tried to chomp into Irina. As it got charmed, you see its eyes just rotating in these colors, like a disco ball eyeball. But as it got charmed, it became incapacitated, so its mouth kind of lolled again. And not only its big fat tongue kind of lolled out, but Irina kind of plopped out into the mud as well. So Irina is not grappled anymore.
Noise. Confused to what just happened. I'm gonna retreat to Irina and use it to protect the siblings. Let's see. Looks like we're having a little bit of trouble with the one in the south, so I'll shoot a firebolt at it.
Boom! It's a pretty hefty head as Cappy Jack's mouth jaws open wide and fire a beam of fire straight for it, scorching the monster.
Indeed, Happy Jack does a little cartwheel in celebration, and Irina will take a dodge action to protect the siblings, and that's my turn.
That Vanderhob is charmed and incapacitated. He's good. Does he make a wit save at the end of his turn? Or is he just straight up charmed?
Seemingly not with the spell. He just stays charmed until he's either shaken or takes damage.
Cool. Rudolph, your turn.
All right, Rudolph, now getting a better bearing of the situation that's going, is going to move over here to behind Serva and a cure wounds at level 4. So Serva take 30.
Oh, appreciate it.
And then he will he doesn't have any bonus action things he can do. So he will actually step forward a bit more to get and take out his cane sword and just give the Vanderhob something else to try and focus on. And then that is Rudolph's turn.
Cool. Which bander? This one here. Serva did the most damage to it. It's outside trying to eat one of you. Self-preservation's a bit of a thing too. So it's going to try to bite you, Serva. And miss. These guys are shocked by your tactics. And that's going to continue to stay there. Nisha, your turn.
Nisha will just say, "Careful, brother. You will wake the entire swamp with your magic." And she'll step forward and just cast a ray of frost at the Vanderhoff that's still attacking us. Oh, damn!
Describe the kill.
Oh, damn. I'd like to think it's about to shoot its tongue out of this, and I just kind of catch it in the mouth and maybe kind of through the back of the skull, and it dies.
Nice. Yeah, like maybe that big giant tongue is kind of lolling out. Your huge ray of frost strikes right in like the middle of the tongue, and you see it. The big tongue freeze up all the way into his head, and the icicles shoot out the top of his skull. Very nice.
Damn, that was double crit cantrips for me and Elward that round. That was pretty sweet.
Yeah. Serva, you see this one fall dead before you with the various onslaught of magical spells.
Oh, it was the one in front of me. Gotcha. I am going to take that nod. It doesn't look like anyone else is injured, so I'm just going to move a bit. It's 20. And we can see.
Oh yeah, it's kind of out of the bright light, but it's still kind of viewable.
Oh, since everyone's doing cold, I'll join in. And cast a snowball storm on this.
Nice.
And yeah, he's got to make. Whoa!
That is definitely a failure.
And that'll be it for me.
Cool. Is there secondary for Snylox? Snowball Storm?
No, it is
Okay.
just 3d6.
Cool. Alright. Anything else in your turn?
Oh no, oh, let me hit the button. My bad.
Oh no worries. I didn't want to make sure not to skip over. This guy, yeah, he's kind of stepping left and right, hopping from foot to foot, deciding what to do, and it sees its one is kind of out of commission, the other's out of commission. It's not really being mind controlled anymore, as the hag that created is dead. It's gonna flee, and you see it shadow step into the shadow, and then disappear 30 feet, kind of out of your vision. But that will effectively end combat, because you guys have that other one charmed. And we can roleplay what you guys want to do with that.
Just circle around it and beat it.
Oh, well, I mean, they are just kind of beasts. Perhaps we can just release.
These
Well.
these beast creatures are ill abominations. You should destroy it.
Because I'd rather one already escaped. I'd rather not have this one. Two of them decide they want to come back for another.
I would also sleep more soundly knowing that another one of these creatures was dispatched.
Well, that's fair. Want me to take care of it?
Yeah, I feel like we could do this as a group.
We have but a few moments left. I'd say on the count of 3, everyone strike it.
Yeah, just everybody. I think we should get into position and strike.
Everybody gang up.
Yeah, because I think the hypnotic pattern only lasts for a minute, so like we'd have a few seconds to discuss, and we'd have to run over and basically dispatch of it quickly if we wanted to get a surprise round.
After we kill this, then.
Very nice. So you see its eyes kind of rotating in that disco ball kind of mesmerization of the hypnotic pattern as you all line up your various spells and your weapons, and it's like a countdown. You see it go red, blue, green, blast off, and all of your weapons come through, and you just slay this thing into a bit of radiant bits and sword chomps and axe swaps and all sorts of things, and it falls dead easily. Yeah, and that's our random encounter. It killed the Banderhops created by Baba Lysaga. Definitely a terror that she brought into this swamp. If it's ever restored, it'd be nice to have at least 2 of them out of it. But yeah, each of you will get 771 XP, and you will be able to finish your long rest. As you rest the rest of the night, you still notice that like none of the bugs seem to be entering the circle of kind of like a druid circle of sorts. This circle of menhirs with the animal glyphs on 8 of them, and it's fairly peaceful rest. It's probably one of the most peaceful areas in all of Rez. But the Banderhops were able to get through. You would notice, but not. It doesn't seem like many of the other critters, like snakes and frogs, and maybe even see the odd crow or raven kind of swoop over. But most of the other like pest, you don't see them kind of coming into this area. But as we wake up, we have full long rest. Congratulations! You can level up if you hit level up experience level. We have more of the Berez to explore if you so wish, but it's up to you guys. We can hit the road and head towards the Amber Temple, or we can explore some more Berez.
As we start the travels in the morning, Casimir and Mizia will both cast Major.
It's an oddly quiet day as you kind of wake up. You hear the kind of in the distance across the slow-moving river, the Raven River. You kind of hear the bleating of an animal, like a outside that, it's pretty quiet. So, what do you guys want to do? You want to hit the road, or do you want to explore any more Berez?
I believe the agreement was Amber Temple.
Cool. Let's head to the big map. By swampy jazz music. Oh, come on, map. Alright, so we're over here. We have quite a bit of distance to cover, but we can definitely do so. Winrail, do you mind rolling a d20 for our random encounters today? As we travel out of Berez. Nice. There'll be no random encounters. As we travel further to the south, you can kind of see, I'll leave it on the map, the incline that we're about to have to take. It seems like Berez is the low point, and as well as temperate. Kind of, we move out of the marshes as we move farther and farther to the south. It's still quite difficult moving this along this path, but we're able to do so the whole way, kind of increasing in incline, and it's getting colder and colder. It's still pretty comfortable, honestly. You kind of came out of a hot, kind of lethargic swamp, the doldrums of sorts, and are now in a pretty temperate, comfortable temperature next to the river. A little grassy, kind of normal pine trees and stuff. But you notice that we're kind of flanking a mountainside. It's quite cold. But we were able to make it to here today. I think that was 4. No, one more. Do we want to go through the woods, or do we want to go around the woods?
I guess how much time will it? Like, is it like an additional day to go around the woods?
It looks like it'd cause you about an extra half day.
But if we go around, will we get on top of the incline, or
Yeah,
you'd have to be.
You'd go up the incline a little bit. So there's a couple different things. Your random encounter DC will be lower if you go through the woods, and the type of encounters are different. And I'll require a survival check if you go through the woods.
Because we want to get as high the incline as possible. If we go through the woods, then we'll still be at base level.
Casimir would probably egg on going through the woods, but Muzio would probably caution going around.
Yes, well, we want to get to the Amber Temple in in one piece, I suggest going around the woods. It doesn't look like it will add too much time.
Yeah, plus we have to get on top of the incline. That way we don't have to climb so high to get to the bridge.
I mean,
I'm
woods.
fully
Swamp.
I'm fully comfortable in the woods, but whatever everyone wishes.
And safety's not the problem for me. It will be closer to the bridge incline-wise than being at the base level, going through the woods. I'd rather climb a slope than staying in the same level.
Slope it is. Let's move.
Indeed, it sounds like we're in unison, or at least in majority. Let's go up. You can make it. It's a steep trek up. You kind of make it about halfway up the slope. You probably made about a 500-foot incline, which is not too much, but you only had 1/4 the day left. But a nice little trek with your packs and your equipment, and maybe Casimir complaining that we're taking too much time, all slowing the hiking a bit. Yeah, will you make it here for today? Nisha, will you roll a d20 for our nighttime and random encounters?
Balls.
Okay, I don't want to do a snowy one just yet because we're not quite to the snow area. Roll a d12 plus a d8. Okay, cool. 10. Another 10.
Just for the record, Nesia said, let's go around. Not that would have saved us from her fucking 20.
Okay, cool. Very cool. I need a watch order. 1, 2, 3, 4.
Casimir and Nesia will take.
Cool. 1. Casimir and Nisha.
Oh, we're fucked, guys. Our passive perception is so low.
It's as you're on watch, everyone else kind of bedding down. You kind of see down the slope. You kind of see the edge of the woods. You see two wildlings, sort of the wild folk of Barovia. A druid and a berserker. One female, one male. They seem to be sprinting out of the woods, and you see a wolf chasing them. A large wolf, a dire wolf in sorts. As the dire wolf gets closer and closer, you see the female toss a large bundle to the male, and he just barely catches it, and kind of tumbles, and then gets back on his feet and continues to run. And the dire wolf mauls the female and begins to drag her back towards the woods. The male, you see him run about another 100 yards and then drop to the ground again. And then you kind of see him get back up, and it seems like he abandoned this huge bundle he was carrying and continued to run towards the river, and then out of sight. But the bundle seems to be about maybe 150 yards away from you.
Okay, so the man is continuing to run, and the woman has been dragged off by the dog.
Correct.
Okay. We'll take a moment to kind of rouse everybody and point down. And we'll sort of explain what happened.
Oh, that's really unpleasant, actually.
Barovia is an unpleasant place. Need I remind?
Yeah, I get you, sister, but still a little bit weird to see it happen.
We should leave it be. It's none of our business. Brother, were you always so heartless? And Nisa will start kind of making her way down towards the bundle. And Casimir will kind of groan and follow probably 20 feet.
It'll probably be our business, knowing our luck, so we might as well get ahead of the bell curve. And several will follow a bit closer than Casimir.
Yeah, you can. It takes just a little bit of time to make the distance up, a minute or two, and as you do, you kind of look left and right, and you don't see any sign of the dire wolf or the body that got dragged back to the woods, and the berserker, the wildling, is long now out of sight. It seems like he was quite fast without carrying this bundle. The bundle itself is huge. It's a large kind of animal skin bundle, a leather kind of a leathery hide. It looks to be like human-sized, huge bundle, like a large humanoid could be kind of in this bundle. Kind of looks like a body bag, like a wildling version of a body bag.
Gotcha. Casimir is going to cast light just on the tip of his dagger and kind of keep an eye out. He's annoyed, but he's aware of the danger of the situation as he's falling behind. And Nisia will approach the bundle.
It seems to stay motionless. It's not moving at all. Nothing really stands out to you other than it kind of has a few latches kind of down the middle that you could snap open.
She'll start to approach, and then she'll almost like she'll kind of like shake her head, almost like if she had like an errant thought. And when she's about 10 feet away, she will reach out and cast her mage hand to reach out toward the bundle and try and undo the latches.
Yeah, as you get that close, you can just get hit with the foul smell of a metallic scent of sorts. You've smelled it many times before. A very strong smell of dried old blood. But your mage hammer can totally work. It can unsnap the latches, and it kind of opens a bit as like whatever was inside is kind of bulging. As you open it up, you see just like what looks to be like a huge pile of raven feathers just gathered together and kind of bursting out of the bag a bit. Huge amount of raven feathers.
What do you make of this, Serva?
Well, seems like some friends of ours might be getting hunted down. Seems like since we're kind of angering the land, it's taking it out on more than just us, I'd say.
You believe these to be the Monakovs?
If it's not, it might be a message. Little peculiar that it's all set up like this where we just happen to be nearby, don't you think? Honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if this is some kind of message.
To us or to the Monakovs?
Probably both, or maybe telling them to not help us out. Considering from what you all have told me, you guys seem to be the biggest thorn in you know whose side at the moment. So he probably wants us to have the least help we can get, especially after we skipped out on his dinner.
The coincidence is troubling, as you have said. Let's bring this back to the party. Would you help?
Aye, and she'll if it's not too heavy, she'll kind of pick it up because it is kind of gross, and she doesn't want to have more than one person deal with it if they don't have to.
Yeah, it weighs about 80 pounds, the sack. It feels like the sack itself is quite heavy versus when you pick it up. It kind of, the contents don't seem like they're maybe that heavy. Like maybe like the contents is about, 1/5 of the weight, but the sack itself, this leathery hide bag is quite heavy.
It's like a reverse bag of holding. It just weighs like a shit ton, but
Yeah.
doesn't carry.
Yeah.
All right, so yeah, Serva and
Bag of
Serva and
inconvenience.
Nizia will, yeah, one of those awesome tools. You are encumbered by carrying this bag. It doesn't carry anything. Fuck. Nizia and Serva will return to the group, with Casimir still kind of trailing behind, muttering, keeping an weather eye on the forest line for any more wolves.
You don't see any more sign on the forest line, but as you do kind of walk about, the bag and the contents shuffle a bit as you've kind of left it open. There's mostly feathers, but you get the glint of kind of something white and like bone amongst all the feathers.
Ugh. I think after that she'll set it down a bit just to like more clearly inspect it.
Yeah, Nizia, unless Serva's digging in hands first, Nizia will definitely pop out her mage hand and kind of muddle through, not looking to.
Yeah, she's not gonna like dig through it, but she'll kind of open up the bag a bit to make it easier for the mage hand and just kind of like peer inside.
Yeah, it's almost all.
Winrow's gonna go smell it.
It smells quite a bit like blood, very heavily of blood. Give me a perception check with advantage. Oof. Okay, yeah, that's pretty high. It doesn't smell like the Martikovs per se, but it does. It definitely smells like ravens, and like kind of get past the blood. But it smells like ravens mixed with some other sort of foul bird. Not just a raven make, but you kind of get the scent of something else, like a carrion bird of sorts, kind of smell as well. And maybe even as you kind of smell around and you kind of like they're searching the bag just a little bit, you see that some of the feathers mixed in with the raven feathers are actually like buzzard feathers, and and you're able to kind of pinpoint that's where the smell is coming from. That it stands out to you. And as you guys kind of shuffle about, you see that amongst the feathers themselves, they seem to be all knitted together. In fact, it seems like all these feathers and the kind of the stitching between them form sort of a garment, a cloak, all tied together with this one big white skull of a buzzard. Right, kind of knitted together right at the sternum. One large cloak made of raven feathers and buzzard feathers and one giant white buzzard skull.
All right,
Does
who
it
wants?
smell like fresh to me?
No, very dried old blood.
Okay.
All right, who wants to make that fashion statement?
I'm fine with just burning it. So I assume, have we basically just kind of laid it out on the ground before?
It's gonna sense to me that you guys weren't pulling it out of the bag, but you can if you want.
I'll let Nisia pull it out with her mage hand. I'm still a bit uneasy on touching this thing.
Yeah, if it's not too heavy, I'll try. I'd like to try and tug it out with the mage hand.
Yeah, it's about 10 pounds. I think Mage Hand can do 10 pounds, right?
Yeah, I think that's the max.
Yeah, you can pull it out. You can totally pull it out. It takes a bit of tugging, kind of with your Mage Hand, but if you pull it out, there's a residue of a kind of a bundle of feathers left in the bag. But it appears to be all in the bag is this carrion cloak, a shroud, carrion shroud.
Can anyone feel if it's magical?
Casimir will step up with his light and just kind of say, and kind of inspect, like, You all are nothing but trouble. And he'll kind of kneel down with his light and inspect it a little closer. And can he perform an Arcana check and just see if it's like anything?
Yeah, of course. Yeah, totally. DC's a little high on this one, but totally possible.
No,
Rudolph.
no problem.
Rudolph will look it over too, and he can give you advantage if you want.
Crap. Arcana isn't because I don't have stats on him, so it's just
Oh,
it's just a straight intelligence roll for me, I guess, right?
let's see. If he's not,
Oh
if
no,
he's,
it's +6. I'm sorry, I see it under here
yeah,
under skills. Okay, so plus. Okay, so just roll a d20 plus 6.
you could just
Cool.
click on the Arcana button, like on his sheet. You can just click on the word Arcana.
Ah, nice.
Well, 22 is definitely high enough. Yeah, because this is a strange item. I don't know if I'll give you the details to it, but it's a dark item for sure. It kind of, it's magical. It seems to reek in magic built on the blood of many lost lives. In fact, it comes with a price. You get the sense. It's all the magic items you've encountered, but very very magical, and quite a powerful magic item at the cost of many lives. It seems like that it would give you, if you could really endure the wearing this cloak, it would increase your fortitude, as well as kind of your ability. If you could survive wearing this cloak, you could survive many other things, and you get the sense that perhaps you would gain the powers of carrion birds a little bit too.
Interesting. Casimir kind of give it once over and just relay that this cloak is cursed. If he or she who wears it will gain much strength, but at a great cost.
Mm.
I would be rid of such a cursed item if I were you.
Yes, it's. Sorry, Van Richten speak. Yes, I agree.
But do you think it'd be useful?
Casimir will kind of shoot sort of like a real kind of sharp glance and be like, everything is useful. A rock in the right hands can be a killing weapon. This is dark magic.
So it's a really big rock, is what you're saying.
It's a really big rock that you carry over your head, and only you are foolish enough to wear it will drop.
Yes, I mean, like Casimir said, it probably is useful, but at what cost? And this seems like the cost is much too great.
Well,
I wouldn't
I don't
dismiss
know.
anything that would help us on our mission against Strahd. He has much power and artifacts in his possession. We should not be so willing to dismiss a strange gift so quickly.
That, and have to remember, what if it ends up in someone else's hands against us?
That's why I say destroy it. Destroy it and be rid of it.
And would we be able to destroy it?
I don't know. I am no priest. I guess for sake of conversation, would Casimir have any knowledge of this kind of this sort of magic, and if there was a way to?
You get the sense that it's necromancy magic, and that perhaps if you had a holy temple, you could purify it and kind of rid its power.
Okay. In other words, called it.
But I guess it just depends. I mean, if the group is willing to bear it, and if one of us is willing to bear it, could it potentially be worth it?
Well, we don't know exactly what it or what afflictions it might bring to the wearer. It is very risky, in my opinion, if someone were to wear.
Hey, I definitely wouldn't have you wear it, friend. You've got someone else looking over your shoulder.
Van Richten like turns around. It's like, who?
Well,
And Casimiro will stalk off. Ah, enough of this. Back to my rest.
well, Elward, Winrell, what do you guys?
I think we should trade Dimitri and Nisha in for their counterpart.
Wait, what?
I mean, Dave and Matt should change their characters. I mean, not Matt, a keeper. Anyway,
I think she's just enjoying our particular interpretation of Casimir and Rictavia.
I certainly cannot wear this. If we were able to destroy it, I think that would be the move, but I'm not so sure that we can.
My brother said something about a priest, perhaps at a temple.
Perhaps we could see if Father Lucian could help us. I don't think the abbot's really going to want to see us.
But the abbot might could do it.
He could. He might be able to.
I don't know if he'd want to, though.
Hey, Abbot!
I don't think he's very happy with us at the moment.
Well, and what about you, Elward? Or is Happy Jack speaking for you right now?
I don't know what you're referring to, but I can't bear any more magical powers from external objects. It's very hard for me to grasp magic with these items I'm carrying with me alone.
Well, I wasn't.
But it depends if somebody wants to take the risk. I'm not much of a what do those gamblers call it, a high roller, but if someone wants to take the risk, then they should be met with the reward.
Well,
but we should take it along just in case. Rather us than the wildlings or the wild folk.
Well, if you want to make a better decision, even though I am against it, I can study this a bit more and see if I can figure out what it actually does. But I don't think it's anything good.
Well, even if one of us were to be afflicted, if we can't stop the affliction off of something like this, how are we going to stop Strahd?
Well, stopping the affliction from this is just simply not wearing it, in which case you've already beat it by not wearing it.
Well, if the group's against it, then maybe we should just hold on to it so no one else gets it until we can get rid of it then.
Yes.
Your life is your own, as are your decisions. This place is very cursed, and should you decide to acquire such power, do so at your own risk. However, do not endanger the lives of those around you on a quest for power.
Right. Right. But hey, if we find out it's not that bad, then maybe we could use it, but better safe than sorry. But hopefully we can find something, an additional thing that's not too cursed to help us. But if we can't, well, and Several will take it. She's not putting it on, but she's just kind of like putting it with the party loot.
Cool. As no one decides to try this on, wear it and see more about it. The rest of your watch will go uneventful. The long night will be good, and we can start off on the next day. Dimitri, do you mind rolling a d20 for me, please, for the next day? Cool. Not a. It's still kind of continue to ascend. It's starting to get brutally cold as we go higher and higher and higher, and we make it just on the path by nighttime. I'll even give you another little path because it kind of angled it, but it's starting to get incredibly cold. In fact, you get the sense that very soon, if you don't have cold weather gear, it's going to be extremely cold and bear upon your frail bodies. Did we all get cold weather gear? The shroud would definitely function as cold weather gear.
Of course it would. You really want one of us to wear it?
Yeah, but this night you don't have to worry about cold weather just yet. Serva, will you roll a d20 for our nighttime random encounters? We're on the path. If we were not on the path, that would have been a random encounter. But since we're on the path, you're all good. Cool. The next day, we pick up and we come to Salinka Pass. And we'll take our break there. We'll pick up with Salinka Pass. Let's see. If you're resistant to cold, you're immune to extreme cold. Oh well. Yeah, indeed. So we'll come back at 20 minutes past the hour.
Sounds good.
Oh, and everyone can take 250 XP. 250 XP for the role play of the random encounter, that one where we picked up the shroud. That's what I was thinking you guys might do too. Yeah, go hunt some pelts. That's really clever. Yeah.
Yeah, we might have to because I don't have cold weather.
That'd be fun. We have a hunting episode. Hunting and crafting. Cool. Well, I'll see you guys super soon. 20 minutes past the hour.
All right, cool.
Everyone, yeah, let's get right back into things. Oh, I was about to send you to a random ass map. Yeah, it's starting to get cold. You kind of see as you approach Solinka Pass that the elevation is quite intense. You're several thousand feet above sea level, and it's getting quite cold. It looks like kind of maybe just a little bit of a trek beyond Solinka Pass would be extreme cold weather. Do you want to turn back and hunt now, or try to proceed further across Solinka Pass? You're fine over here, but once you get across, you'll be in extreme cold.
I would prefer not to freeze to death.
Yeah. I mean, because like, I think am I the only one that doesn't have cold weather gear? Are there other people with?
No, I don't. I don't have it listed on my sheet.
Okay. Well, let's hunt and see what we can get for at least some of us, so that way, because even if we use that evil cloak, it can only be used for one person.
Yeah, I mean, I don't, unless seemingly my condition doesn't help me.
No, no, unfortunately not.
Let's go
But I am good
hunting.
at hunting.
Cool. So we're gonna do some hunting. Yeah, we're gonna look like so we're gonna look for just like large creatures with fur, right? We're looking for some kind of a large furry creature. That's the method we're taking to try to find cold weather here.
Yeah, just larger animals, whether it be wolves, bears, or herbivores or whatever. Anything for me, really.
Cool. So we only took like 1/4 a day to travel, so we can spend a good bit of time to do this. Um, yeah. Give me a survival check. Any one of you. To see if we can try to find what we can try to find. What's possible to find. 'We mentioned direwolves, so I'll give you a DC 12 chance to find. Oh wow. Okay, cool. Yeah, you totally could find some direwolves. Um, Now roll a D20 for me, Winrel, to see if it's just direwolves that you find. 6. Yeah, it'll just be direwolves. Now roll a D4. As you go out hunting, you see Van Richten kind of pull out a satchel that looks like a kind of a smiling bag, and out of it he pulls out a large white coat. Looks like it was made from some kind of large white wolf, and he dons it and kind of shrugs. And Casimir kind of grunts and pulls out a very like an oilskin looking coat. It looks like to be quite warm, but not very pretty. Nowhere near as pretty as Van Richten's. It looks like Casimir knew that the cold was part of the journey and failed to warn you guys. And Van Richten just happened to be prepared. Uh, okay, cool. Winrail, you are able to track. You kind of see a few large wolf tracks that lead off into the wolves, the woods, the Svalich woods to the west, alongside Luna Lake. As you get closer and closer, it looks like you're coming to a den of sorts. A bit of bones scattered outside. You notice though the smaller creatures don't come anywhere near the cave mouth. You get the sense this is definitely where these wolves are layering. How do you want to approach? How does the group want to approach? As you follow the track, 22 is pretty high. You get the sense there's 4 direwolves that are 4 different sets of tracks at least, wolf tracks that you're following.
I guess I'll like hold up 4 fingers to indicate that to the rest of the party.
Mm. Do we have anything we can use as bait?
You.
No, that's true. But I feel like they might see you as a more likely treat.
I can
How
use arena
wide
puppet.
is this? How wide is this cave entrance?
It's about 10 foot wide, about 7 foot tall.
Now, hang on, Elward. If you use a puppet, you could lose it. So, I think the group thinks you should send Happy Jack to be the bait.
I'll be Jack as my spellcaster. I lose him then.
Can't you switch those out though?
Yeah, but takes a day.
Fair.
After a long rest, but takes a day.
I'm gonna go ahead and cast Spirit Guardians.
Indeed, your spectral spirits kind of swirling all around as we kind of stand and wait outside this cave. Do we want to approach stealthily or aggressively, or set traps, or what sort of method we want to do to try to take down these wolves and get their pelts?
Van Richten's going to cast a few spells before we start going in, now that he actually has time to prepare or thinks about it. He's going to give freedom of movement to both Serva and Win. And he'll cast Death Ward on Nija, considering just from the last fight, knowing that she went down, but he can only cast one Death Ward, so Nija will get it.
Very nice. As we cast a set of spells, buffs, and protective wards, trying to make sure we keep our ability to run and stay alive, and just in case. As we linger a bit longer and kind of cast these spells out, you kind of hear a bit of movement in the den beyond, just beyond your vision. Sounds like definitely something is becoming more and more alert. Something maybe kind of sniffing at air, as your presence is becoming known to what layers within.
Yeah, I mean, if
remember, we want their hides.
I know.
No powerful. Okay. I think Matilda should be fine, but the Sunblaze, maybe not so much.
I was legit considering wall of fire, so yeah, that's probably a bad idea.
I was still gonna have the Sunblade out.
Can't use their pelts if all their hair is singed off.
I might be best for you and me to take this head on ourselves, to me.
Howard pulls out a crossbow. Haven't used these in a while. Oh, and sort of it's a cute little toy crossbow. It's pink or purple. I forgot. I think it's purple. Yeah, purple.
Could potentially, like, people with ranged weapons ready an attack.
Yeah, of course.
Lure them out.
Yeah. So as we do this, maybe just a bit of time kind of goes by, and you get the sense that the wolves are beginning to wake. They've already become known of your presence. So as they begin to rush forward and charge out, these aggressive dire wolves defending their home, I want each of you to make a skill check and describe kind of how you're using this skill. You're essentially going to coop these guys, but I want to see how like what we do. I'm turning this into a skill challenge instead of a combat. But we'll start with you, Elward. As you pull out your purple crossbow and you fire out, how do you do so in such a way that you want to save the pelt?
Let's see what we got here in terms of skills. Nope. That one might do. As we're all speaking and determining what we're doing, and the wolves rush out at us. Maybe some of us, including me, aren't quite well prepared as we were still talking about the plan. So with a sleight of hand, I quickly load up the crossbow bolt, as it looks sharper than normal, as it's one of the crossbow bolts I made in Villaki. and using my sleight of hand speed and quickly loading it, quick aim, and firing off at the easier targets.
Nice, that is super a pass as you fire away with your fun crossbow from the funhouse, quite effectively, bringing joy to you and your teammates as you use it quite nicely. Take 250 for your pass as you give the team one pass on this skill challenge. Winrel, how do you react in this situation? What tools do you use to effectively slay these wolves while preserving their pelts?
Okay. I found the downside of my new push to talk.
Is it as bad as?
Okay, so I guess I want to use
Go ahead. Sorry.
would radiant damage necessarily damage the pelts? Since it's like light goodness.
I mean, I kind of imagine radiant damage as like holy fire a little bit. But I can see where like some radiant damage wouldn't necessarily. Like sacred
Right, because it's like
flame.
the opposite of necrotic damage, so it almost feel like it's not.
Yeah,
You know?
it depends. It
So
depends.
I'm
Like,
just thinking, like, if I could use the spirit guardians to like subdue the wolves.
oh yeah, I don't think spirit guardians would damage the pelts. I kind of
Yeah,
see that as
so
like blunt
that's what
force,
I.
radiant damage kind of thing.
So I don't know, maybe like a wisdom check or something or intelligence to figure
Sure.
out how to tell them to subdue the wolf.
Yeah, maybe like an insight or a perception to kind of guide your spirit guardians into their weak spots. Boom! That is another pass. You guys are doing quite well. Take 250 XP for pass on on the skill challenge, as you kind of move in and out between these dire wolves. Your spirit guardians effectively traumatizing the wolves to death, but preserving the pelts. Nisha, as you see, fighting alongside, what tool of yours, your inner skills, your proficiencies, what do you use to slay these wolves but preserve the pelts?
So I would like to dig into my normal bag of tricks and use Arcana to use my hypnotic pattern to see if I could just basically kind of to stun them long enough for my allies to get in an advantageous position to, bludgeon them or pierce them otherwise to preserve the pelt.
Yeah, controlling the battlefield. Go for it.
Yeah. My normal mixture of helping and not helping at the same time. All right, here we go.
Oh, you guys are killing this. As they kind of rush out, you think of the strategy so right away. They rush out of their den, and immediately all four are charmed by your spell, allowing all of your teammates to line up. Maybe that's why the shots were so well, and the Spirit Guardians hit all of them. They kind of all bunched up, just charmed for a moment, allowing you to position perfectly. Very nice. You can take 250 XP as well. Dimitri, what tool do you use to accomplish your task?
I was going to use stealth, but if they're,
I mean, you still can.
well, I was gonna say if they're, well, I can do something else. I guess because if they're stunned now, then I'll use my insight to, I guess, insight where to stab them best. I was going to use the dagger of venom with the actual poison to do as much damage as I could with the least amount of stabs. And I guess I'll insight it to like try and insert the blade where it would do the most damage in one hit.
Yeah, go for it. That is also a pass. As you kind of line up your blade, you are sneakily crawling across the snow-covered ground, and getting to a good advantageous position. And as your comrade Nisha gave you an opening, you moved in, quickly spotting a vital spot, damaging it with quite a bit. Very nice. And Serva, as if you don't mind wrapping us. Oh, Dimitri, take 250 for a pass, 250 XP. And Serva, what tool do you use to slay these wolves?
Uh, I was kind of originally gonna go for like the distraction tactic, but since Nisha kind of has that covered, um, so I'd assume some of them, just in case for like the ones the remaining party members didn't get, I would try to use my athletics to just kind of like grab one, keeping it from getting away, and just instead of like using a weapon to like tear it apart, she's just gonna like try to just pull on it and break its neck. So athletics, basically.
Nice, yeah, Hercules method, slaying the enemy and oh, yeah, as one is charmed, maybe the largest wolf of them, all of these dire wolves. Server runs in and jumps on this wolf and strangles it down to the ground, and immediately you all hear this resounding snap as the battle comes to a close. It's kind of like the death gong, the death toll, as it rings out as the snap of the neck just cracks open. The head falls limp in your arms, and Serva. You all pass that with really, really high rolls. Um, each of you take so you take 250 XP for your pass, Serva, and each of you take 160 for slaying the wolves. So you should have a total of 410 from that encounter. And yeah, we have 4 perfectly preserved direwolf pelts. So they're huge. They're
And
large creatures.
I would like to use my channel divinity artisan's blessing to take the time to make them into very nice cloaks.
Oh, that is so badass. Your forge domain is really coming in here. Yeah, describe how you can make 2 very nice cloaks from each of the pelts. So you can make a total of 8. Do you mind describing like how this happens?
So, um, can we say that the wolves were different colors, like maybe
Yeah, of
like
course.
2 black and a gray and a white or something?
Of course.
Um, so what I'll do is I'll make um, an all black one for Dimitri and all white one for Nisha. And then I'll make a black one like down the middle with white stripes on the side for Elward. Um, and then I'll take just gray, and Cervera will get, I guess, also just gray because I think that's what's left. And so I'll just spend the time like uh like so it's just sewing them together to sewing them together to connect around the like upper chest and then just hang down.
Very nice.
Probably like like tanning out some of the wood, like using some tools to like smooth out the skin and tan it.
Very effective using your craftsmanship, your god's blessing as well, and forming very nice, very good-looking direwolf cloaks. And yeah, now you all have cold weather gear. Go ahead and take another 250 XP for that, Winrel, as you solve that dilemma with probably way faster than I was thinking I was going to take like the rest of this day to fashion these pelts. But yeah, very nice. Yeah, you guys can effectively get cold weather gear. You guys solved that way easier than I thought it would be. Um,
How much? Sorry, what was it? 150 for the wolves? I missed that one.
uh, uh, you should have gotten 410 total, so 250 for your pass, 160 for the direwolves, and then an extra 250 for that forge using that forge ability so effectively.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I got everything but the 160, so got it.
Cool. And as we make it back to Selenka Pass, about 3/4 of the day is gone. But we are decked out in our new wolf pelts and cold weather gear, Van Richten is quite pleased, kind of gives you all a thumbs up as he kind of shows off his wintry wolf coat, but it doesn't even, it's still very nice, but it doesn't compare to how the freshness is. It's a bit smelly and kind of like it's been in a bag for a while, but yours guys are fresh off the mint press. But we will come to the Solinka Pass. Let me give you some description. Oh, that's the shelf of rock on which the mountain road clings grows narrow to your left. The icy cliffs rise sharply toward dark rolling clouds. To your right, the ground falls away into a sea of fog. Ahead, through the wind and snow, you see a high wall of black stone lined with spikes, topped by the statues of demonic vultures with horned heads. Set in the center of the wall is a closed iron portcullis, behind which burns a curtain of green flame. On the other side of the dark wall, gripping the mountain's edge, is a guard tower of white stone, topped by golden statues of mighty Valkyrie warriors. This is what this looks like. Here's some art handout for you. It's kind of the view you have. I've just left the dynamic lighting off this map because I feel like it's a lot more breathtaking and understandable when you have the whole map to look at. But yeah, you have this gatehouse, closed portcullis with green flame, and you can see atop the gate tower those lance-wielding Valkyrie warriors and golden statues. Stark contrast to the white flurries all about.
That's a cool picture.
Yeah, that's one of my favorite art pieces.
Kind of serene. Well, best we keep moving. No?
Casimir, do you happen to know any way?
We must go beyond this the gatehouses and then to the bridge. But I don't know why I kind of get a bit of a French accent here. But yes, we must go beyond this, and then beyond the bridge and the other second gatehouse lies the Solinka Pass. The route to the south has been cut off by the mist for many, many years, but we will head to the mountains. The temple lies there.
Dimitri will move forward a bit more.
What he said.
It's been so long since I've done any Slavic accents in this game that I was like, I don't know how to do it.
Also, Nija, I think the freedom of movements are gone because those are only like an hour or something, but the death ward on Nija is still there.
Sweet, thanks.
Yeah, that thing lasts 8 hours, so it's like when your mage armor drops, basically.
Oh, wasn't it Serva you put it on?
Serva and you both had freedom of movement. Nija got
As you get closer and closer to the gatehouse, it looks to be about 30 feet high, the actual gatehouse, and the adjoining walls are 20 feet high, and they're lined with spikes. You can kind of see the image a little bit to the right on the map, with these vulture statues staring down.
A lot of vultures lately. Wonder if it's a sign.
Is there any markings on the gate, like next to the gate? Like signs or markings or
Give me a perception check. Like there's no signage on like any like engravings just obvious on the gatehouse. As you look about, the gatehouse, it also appears to be the same sort of stonework and metalwork, except for the statues of the two vultures. They appear to be of different sort of stone, kind of a different workmanship. Maybe kind of your tinker's tool's eye catches a glimpse that whoever made the statues of the vultures was not the same artisan that made the gatehouse. Or the adjoining tower, watchtower. Or not adjoining, but adjacent. But you do notice that just beyond the closed portcullis is this huge fog of green flame. A curtain of green flame.
Just for our edification as well, I'm assuming at some point in time along our travels, Casimir probably would have shared any sort of knowledge he had about the, what he's heard, hearsay or otherwise, as far as like the denizens or any sort of occupants of this location.
I saw in my dreams. The temple. I know the way. I have not been to this part of the valley, or the Mount Gakis itself. But great beasts live here. Beasts larger than most, than down in the valley. Mount Gakis is home. I know to great things, evil things. But,
All right, so saw it in a dream. Cool story, bro.
yeah. Yeah, you'd kind of get the sense. You've spent several nights with him now. Like every night, he seems to be in his trance, kind of muttering about Patrina. I'll save you. I'll bring you back. This is gonna take a bit of time. Patrina, I'll get vengeance for you. It seems to be kind of having these dreams about Patrina. You hear another name or two. You hear the Lifebringer brought up a few times. And Kronok as well. But yeah, it seems like his knowledge of this area is like just general, like a little bit of general knowledge, maybe from like word of mouth, uh, and like maybe he studied a map or something at some point of this area, but mostly from his dreams. I know it had been a while since he first gave you that quest, but yeah, that was he. He dreamed about this. He had a vision over and over and over again, and you can kind of get the sense he's still having it.
Does the cliff over here look like it's climbable just to get like up and over the wall?
You could try. It's quite slick and icy, and each little like line of dots you see is 100 feet scale, and so it's pretty steep as well. You could try, but it would be a difficult climb. But yeah, you could totally try.
All right. Yeah, no, I didn't want to try. I just want to see if it was possible, and I wouldn't want to climb that high. Just enough to get over the wall. So, however tall that.
You could also go down. It's 100 feet down each little dip, but it's also quite icy.
Yeah, I'd rather go up because then if you fall, it's not hundreds of feet down.
Yeah, you can't really see exactly how far down it is, but you get the sense that it's definitely hundreds of feet down.
It would be more than the 20 feet or so, or 30 feet at the wall.
Oh man, if only one of us had a flying cloak, how nice would that be?
Right.
You don't know it's flying.
Yeah, no, we haven't attuned to the carrion shroud.
We don't not know it's flying. Just say.
Yeah, I know.
Does
I mean, if we really want to wait around an hour.
I'll step up a bit closer to the bars and like peer through. Is there any like levers?
As you step within 10 feet.
Oh, geez.
The portcullis begins to move upward, but you're stunned with a shriek of sound, a squeal of high-pitched scream, as metal on metal rises out. The scream unnatural, but it rises all the way up into the gatehouse ceiling. The passage beyond is open, well, into a curtain of green flame, but the way is open now. Yeah, you were just one step away from it rising up.
Well, I totally meant to do that.
Did you, buddy? I believe it.
Yes, now it's just a matter of getting past those flames.
As you step through the flames, as you kind of Nisha and Casimir both kind of were like moving through, it doesn't feel hot at all until you immerse yourself into the green flames themselves. But as you do, you step through on the other side, and you feel that your body is full as if you step through an oven.
You cut out like a good bit for that.
Oh, sorry. So as you step through the green flames, it doesn't feel hot at all until you kind of get into the flames and step through. And as you emerge on the other side, your body is scarred and burnt as if you had stepped through a massive oven, and you take some pretty serious fire damage. So this will
Can
be for...
I try to dispel magic?
Yeah, you can totally try so. The first will be for Casimir, and the second will be for Nisha. 30, 35, and 38 fire damage. As you you go to kind of point your finger, and you kind of hear the screams of Casimir and Nisha. Go ahead. Do you want to cast your spell at the green flames?
Yes.
As you cast dispel magic, the green flames fade away.
I assume it's safe to walk through now.
And you look left and right. It looks like it's safe to walk through. What do you do?
Sarah makes her way like to Nisha first. It's just like, all right, come on, and she's gonna use light on hands on her for 25 points.
Thank you. I'm not sure what came over me.
I'm supposed to be the reckless one, aren't I?
Yeah. Why the hell would you walk through the flames?
She just relayed that something compelled her to follow her.
And hearing her say that, she'll look to Casimir and be like, "The hell, man!"
Rudolph, seeing that server walk through fine, will go up and he'll crank a level 3 cure wound.
All right. Can you walk fine, Nisha?
Yes, I'll be all right.
Well, those are some low rolls, but
As we kind of dawdle just beyond the flames for about a minute, kind of healing up, taking some time, you see that the green flame around the gate seems to begin to reignite towards the center of the where the curtain existed. It's beginning to spread and spread. Just as you make it through, Edward, with you and your puppets, the curtain of green flame erupts back into existence. Magic was suppressed for 1 minute.
And
Casimir,
Casimir will be starting to mutter, kind of like, "We're so close. I can feel it. I can feel it from my dreams."
I don't know how comfortable I am with you being in the front anymore.
look, I know you want to get to the Amber Temple, but it's best not to walk through flames if you want to get there.
Kind of funny, the guy telling me not to put on a magic cloak is gonna walk through fire.
As you kind of approach this watchtower just beyond the gatehouse to the east, you notice that the stone door is wide open. The cold wind blowing in blustering snow, a bit of snowdrift piling up inside the entranceway. But maybe you can peek in and you see a cold hearth that stands across from the open door. Indeed, the wind howling down the chimney and all around. A stone staircase in the south wall seems to lead up. The 3 windows look out over a foggy sea. The path continues towards the north. But as you all kind of cross across the green flame, let's see who has the highest passive perception. Looks like Winrel and Dimitri both tied at 16. Winrel and Dimitri both get the sense like eyes up like to your up on the top of the highest peak kind of to your west, like 500 feet above. Like eyes are staring down upon you. You get the feeling that you're being watched.
Can I see anything? Or is just the feeling?
Just the feeling. You don't notice anything other than that.
How far along in the day are we? Are we close to needing a rest, or are we like halfway?
You're pretty close, actually. I mean, like we entered 3/4 of the day was gone by the time we kind of came to this area, so it's pushing nighttime.
Well, I think perhaps we stay in this tower tonight. At least it will give us a bit of respite from the wind and a little bit of defense in case something attacks us at night. And then we make off fresh in the morning to the Amber Temple.
Yes, I think that would be wise.
I mean, it feels like we're not alone here.
Well, yes, I got that feeling too, but still, this tower, staying in something besides just out in the open seems like a better idea than out in the open.
Aye. Besides, wouldn't hurt to rest up. Might be more flames to walk through. And she'll give like Casimir a bit of a sneer and just kind of turn towards the door. All right, why don't we just file in? I'll take first watch.
Before we actually go watching, perhaps we should just check out the tower and make sure that there's nothing actually.
True.
But yeah, I'll walk in.
As you look in, you kind of see the windows that are fogged over, the cold fireplace across the way, and the stone stairs that lead about 20 feet up to the next floor. Snow kind of piling up in the inside of the room.
Yeah, I'll take out the Sunblade and Matilda, and I guess just make my way up the stairs carefully. Just
Cool. And you can see kind of the arrow, if you follow the arrows on the map, where like the next floor is, it kind of points to the northeast. As you climb up these stairs, you come to the upper tower, like upper floor of the guard tower. The upper level of the tower is an icebox with windows set in almost every wall. A rusted iron ladder bolted to the floor, and ceiling leads up to a wooden trapdoor. Mounted above the stone hearth is a dire wolf's head, the wolf's fur completely white. The wind coming down the chimney howls in the stead. So there's this ladder that leads up to the seal, like the roof of the watchtower.
is this a door?
It's no, it's just where the door would be below. Sorry.
Okay.
Is this a? Are these fireplaces? What is this here?
It's a fireplace, indeed.
Is that lit?
No, it's cold. It's ice cold. Kind of icicles hanging down. Snow's piling into this room.
At this point in time, Mizia is kind of tugging Casimir along a little bit, not like almost like leading him, as he seems to be muttering a lot more, like just kind of almost nonsensically, just like so close.
So are there portions of this floor that don't have snow, or like literally the whole floor has snow?
Oh, like the first two squares in, so like the door, it's like the snow's coming. These windows are intact, where the second floor window, like where Dimitri and Serv are, those windows are not intact, so it's a bit colder there. But the snow seems to be coming in from the open door. So like the first square where like
Okay.
Nisha is, and then where Happy Jack is.
Okay, so I'm gonna use a combination of torches and just, let's see, potentially well, I've got a bedroll, so I'll lay out a little bedroll, and I'll use some torches in my tinderbox to get the fire going.
Yeah, indeed. Give me a survival check.
Maybe some like uh, I guess our crossbow bolts have some wood, are made out of wood with just the like an arrow, right? They're not all. Are they all metal? I can't remember.
Most of them are metal, but you might have a wooden one or two. You might have some supply of wood.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I don't know. I've got an explorer's pack or some. Oh wait, I got a regular shield. I'll just burn that shit.
I like how the word hides his puppets. um, yeah, yeah. Give me a survival check to see like you definitely get the sense that a lot of the cold of this place is coming from the upper floor and the open door. And a warm fire would do wonders for the kind of the restability of this place. We'll just see a pretty low bar. Yeah, you kind of whip together what supplies you have, and maybe kind of pour out a bit of oil and torches and stuff like that, and you're able to crack open a fire. It's things begin to kind of get a bit more comfortable. But maybe several of you kind of work together and shove that door closed, and I kind of stop the continuing supply of snow. We have fire. On the second floor, the windows are open, and there's this uh, ladder that leads up to a closed trapdoor to the rooftop.
The windows are open or broken?
Broken. Sorry.
Okay. Yeah, I'll look at Serva and just kind of like nod up to the trapdoor, and then uh I guess I'll put away my weapon since I need my hands to climb the ladder, and I'll climb the ladder carefully because it does it look climbable, or is it like super like rusty and looks like it'll
It,
break?
it, it looks a little frozen, but it's metal, so it's a little slippery, but it's definitely climbable.
Yeah, I'll climb up to the trapdoor.
Yeah, if you're cautious, no need to make any checks. You're cautiously climbing, you can totally do this.
Yeah, definitely climbing. Just because I don't know also if the ladder is under the ice, if it's like super rusty past break or something.
Yeah, it'll be good. It'll be all good.
And then I'll open the trapdoor. Try to open the trap.
I love random. Maybe should have had a mimic here, but that's okay. Um, yeah, you can do so. You open up the trapdoor and it leads up to the rooftop. As you get up to the top of this tower, there's 10-foot tall gold-plated statues that stand atop the battlement facing outward. Each one depicts a female human knight holding a lance. The cold wind stirs the snow under which you see human skeletons clad in rusty mail. So human skeletons kind of resting atop, like underneath, kind of half buried in the snow on the tower. The various Valkyries facing outward.
Well, there's no enemies up here, so I'll just close the trapdoor. Does it look like the trapdoor can be locked in any way?
Indeed, as you try to go back to closing the trapdoor, like halfway on the tower, you see these forms begin to shimmer into existence. Oh, I lost my place. There we are. The swirling snow around actually begins to form these images of thin young women. The wind howls in itself. Begone! This treasure is ours. And how do you react? Continue with running away?
All right, bye. I'll just shut the trap door.
Very nice. Yeah, you do so, and they fade back out of. They fade away.
Does it look like the trapdoor can be like barred in it?
Yeah, it does totally. It looks like you
Sure.
could kind of bar the handle into the wall, like put some leverage between the handle and the ceiling.
Yeah, I'll do that, and then climb down and some icy ghosty figures appeared up there. They didn't like me up on the roof, so perhaps we just stay on the first floor.
Wait, you barred the trap door?
Yes.
But they're ghosts. Can't they move through that?
I don't know.
Fair point.
I don't know if they're actually ghosts. They look somewhat spectral, but still, I think we should just wait on the first floor.
All right.
They didn't sound happy that I had opened the trap. And then yeah, I'll just head back downstairs.
Yeah, you can do so as we head back downstairs. Um,
And just let everybody else know that we should avoid the roof because there were spectral figures that appeared when I opened the trapdoor, and they didn't look happy that I opened the trapdoor. So just stay there.
Yeah, but do you think we'll shoot out them while crossing the bridge, similar to what happened on top of the castle?
If what?
Are we not afraid that they'll open fire at us when we're crossing the bridge, similar to on top of the manor where the spectral archers were shooting at us?
I don't believe so. Uh, they they only appeared when I opened the trapdoor, and they said something about this treasure is ours. So I'm not sure what's on the roof. Perhaps they're just talking about the gold statues. But as I was shutting the trapdoor, they disappeared. So
Or it could be similar to the tower in which the dragon appeared, but it was a spectral dragon that was only there to welcome people or scare them away.
well, they were definitely there to scare people away, if that's the case, and not welcome them because they didn't seem very well.
Very well. As long as they're not attacking us while we're crossing, it's fine. Oh, we should be on our toes.
Yes, just I wanted to let everybody know, so whoever's on watch, just be aware of that. But I think we should be fine down here.
cool. Yeah, so you guys can set for a long rest. I need a watch order. 1, 2, 3, 4. And the respective teammates will keep up with their partners. And which watch do you want to take, Winrel? Who do you want to partner up with?
I'll take fourth. And by the time Dimitri and Serva like got back down, I'm all like basically asleep, like in my bedroll, like all curled up by the fire.
Very nice. Yeah, it's starting to get a bit cozier in there. It's still kind of some wind, cold coming from the upper room, but definitely kind of barricaded yourself in. Nice warm fire. It feels way warmer in here than it does anywhere we felt in a long time. Okay, cool. On first watch, Serva, as as um as you're on watch, You kind of hear. Give me a perception check, actually. If you don't mind, Serva. Oof, nice. Yeah, you hear strange sound. Like a.
Is it coming from outside or is it like inside?
Somewhere outside. Somewhere outside. Somewhere kind of. It felt like something like far away. And
Are
then
there windows?
there are windows. Yeah.
I suppose she'll just peer out at the one closest to the direction it's coming from. She's not gonna leave, but she's gonna take a look.
It seems like it's maybe coming from like with the 19 like your senses kind of tell you it's from the west, and none of the windows point towards the west.
She'll put her ear up against the door just to listen more closely.
It's kind of just as you put your ear against the door, you hear a knock, 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 almost like something tapping heavily at the door, and then you hear footsteps begin to move away, like running footsteps.
Zerva's just gonna pull up a chair and pull out the death knell and just kind of sit like a couple feet across from the. She's not gonna open it, but she's just gonna keep an eye on it.
Very nice. Outside that, your watch will go be uneventful. Fourth watch, which is Dimitri, Van Richten, and Winrell. As about halfway through your watch, you feel like you hear a screech, like 1,000 death cries all coming at once, and it feels like the whole tower begins to shake with movement, as if some kind of turbulent force is flying just above it. And maybe as you see outside the north window, this massive flying shape seems to fly out of view with one more final screech. Winrel, I think you've noticed this image once before on a rest, and maybe as well Dimitri, as it flies north and deeper into Mount Gakis.
Man, this place always has something.
Indeed, outside that though, your watch will go uneventful as well, and yeah, you guys can benefit from a long rest, fully healed, spells back, all that good stuff. And yeah, the morning comes. Maybe the fires kind of die just a little bit, beginning to get cold again, but hope's refreshed. Feel free to move freely.
All right. So, I guess off to the Amber Temple then.
Well, while we're here, do we want to try destroying that cloak real quick or looking over it again?
Well, I don't think we should waste time now. Since it's the beginning of the day, looking it over again. But perhaps later. I don't think we can destroy it here.
You're right.
You could always, even carrying it around for a bit now, if you want, Serva, you can always try it on, see if it fits.
Try it on, see how it feels.
Out of character, I really want to, but it's just like, man, she doesn't have a good reason to. So I won't.
I'm really glad the rapport of the magic items you guys have gotten so far has made this kind of mentality. You know, because most campaigns you get a magic item and you're like, bam, reward. But you guys are very healthily like, no reward is really a reward. Especially when you get in such a mysterious way. But yeah, feel free to continue on. Casimir kind of presses. We must move beyond the bridge, and then the pass is beyond. It is not very well traveled. It will be hard going. Brace yourselves. And no more side quest. I'm sick of it. We need to get to the temple soon.
But the tower wasn't a side quest. We needed to.
Isn't this temple kind of a side quest?
It is my main quest.
Right, and I'm pretty sure our main quest is killing Strahd.
And yes, this is how you would do it. Find the secret to his power, the home to his magic, the dark sinisterness to his immortality.
Do you really want to destroy Strahd, Casimir?
Yeah, perhaps more than anyone else I want to. He took my people from me. He took our future from us. He not only marred me, but he marred my soul, the soul of both my sisters. He took the life of one of them, and the other here.
It's just, you seem really engrossed in his power, more so than him himself.
Yeah, you should talk for this. You seemed engrossed by this cloak that I have warned you of. Power is necessary. If I was too weak, then I could not do what I do. I knew I could not handle this task alone. I respect power and that I need it, but only so far as that.
Enough to walk through a fire?
He kind of hangs his head low. Perhaps we should get to the temple. We're wasting time. As he realizes he doesn't have a good excuse for that.
All right. Well, we were going. I'll open the door.
Yeah.
And then, as they come out, Serva is gonna look at Casimir one more time and said, "Fine, but you're not leading anymore."
He doesn't seem to mind this. Van Richten would definitely kind of be in the same boat, though. If this has a chance to solve our this whole puzzle of sorts and slay the Vampire King, then perhaps it's worth whatever cost it tolls.
Right, but don't need to make a second one.
Indeed, indeed. One vampire is too many.
Yes, but I also believe in your book there, Van Richten. You did say something about being smart about killing the vampire, and I don't think walking through walls of flames is a smart.
I was not excusing such actions, simply that the task itself before us is perhaps worth it. And indeed, we should proceed cautiously. In fact, do you get the sense that something is watching us? Ever since this morning, it seems like something buzzing just behind my ear, eyes upon us.
Yes, I had that feeling last night before we went to rest. One of the main reasons I suggested this tower, at least it offered some.
Protection is important when you rest, and a nice fire indeed. I appreciate that, Winrel. It's good to get out of this cold when we can. As you get to there, Dimitri, you're kind of leading the way, but I'm gonna roll a d2 because you and Van Richten are kind of walking side by side.
I figured we were talking while we were walking.
Yeah, it's gonna be you, Dimitri. This blaze of light kind of comes tumbling down the mountain at a quick path, which you thought maybe was just a rock, as it blended perfectly into the mountainside. You see this massive, 9-foot tall goat come charging down the crag above you, its gray fur blending perfectly. It lowers its head of golden horns with red malice eyes, as his eyes glimmer at you, right for you, Dimitri.
I'm gonna get out of its way if I.
It's gonna get a chance at attacking.
What is it? Is I can't be surprised. So with that, I'm not
Oh,
sure if that happens.
yeah, you can't be surprised. Let's roll initiative for just you and him, real fast.
Yeah, I don't want to lose this one, so I'm gonna use my inspiration. Oh, I can't because I already have advantage on it. Never mind. I already have advantage on the check, so I can't use my.
The goat, indeed. There was some build up. No need for anyone else to roll initiative. How did that happen? Oh, I see. Okay, yeah.
Because I have advantage, and one of them was a 1.
Yeah, I was like, how did you get a red 25? But that makes sense. Yeah, as it comes running, charging straight for you. What do you want to do, Dimitri?
Yeah, I kind of want, I guess, almost like a, I guess, bullfighter. Just kind of just wait because I feel like if I move too soon, it's just gonna turn. So I want to like just ready myself so I could dive like right when it gets to a point where I don't think it can turn and hit me, so I can, yeah, just avoid it.
Yeah, give me an acrobatics check.
All right, now I'll use my inspiration.
Go for it.
Oh my god.
um,
I
I was looking for a little higher than that, but
I'll use a well no, I was gonna say I'll use a luck. I don't want to get slammed off this cliff.
are you gonna actually use luck point or no?
Yeah, no, yeah.
I'll still give it disadvantage with even though it's 11, but I'm not gonna give it an auto success.
Huh?
It's gonna try to knock you off. I'll give it disadvantage on its check with an 11, but if you want to use a lucky and possibly get an auto success on it missing,
Yeah, I was gonna do the
go for it. Okay, yeah, that is plenty. That's an auto success. Yeah, this ram begins to kind of charge towards you, and as it gets like 2 feet from hitting you, you give it a nice whoop, and ole ole, and it charges right beyond and just continues charging down the cliffside. As it moves past you, it kind of gives you a bleeding, and then disappears as the devil ram, the demon ram Singzor, the trickster ram, goes off. Go ahead and take some XP, Dimitri. You get 200 XP.
what the was that?
Yeah, standard goats. Very common sight in Barovia.
Yes.
Part of the tourist trap.
Yeah, Barovia has a lot of 9-foot red burning eye goats.
Yeah, you don't have those back in deep water or whatever.
It's water deep. You were close, and no, we don't.
Yeah. Though to be frank with you, it seems like if something's trying to get us, it means we're on the right path, I would assume.
And I'm gonna keep moving so I can get away from this mountain in case there's another goat.
Rudolph kind of mentions, it still feels as if something is watching. Not the same feeling, but similar. Ah, hmm. Just keep your eyes open and your feet nimble here. As you come to the western arch of the Solinka Bridge, the snowy pass comes to the gorge spanned by a stone bridge. At each end of the bridge is a 30-foot tall, 30-foot wide stone arch. Atop each one are two statues of armored knights on horseback with lances, charging toward one another. These are female knights again, the Valkyries. The wind bites and howls like wolves as it passes through the gorge. You kind of look down the gorge, you see the Lunar River, I'm sorry, far, far below, 500 feet below.
All right. Why don't we just make this bridge crossing?
As you get closer and closer to the bridge, you see, kind of standing on the far side of the bridge, a cloaked rider, and kind of wearing dark clothes. A dark black horse.
Yeah, is the mount on fire?
Indeed, as you get a bit closer, maybe, and you look out, you see Strahd von Serevich atop of Bucephalus, his great steed, his nightmare of a steed, and he seems to have a scowl on his face, kind of his hand to his mouth. Looks like he's been waiting. Waiting.
I wish I
Yeah.
could say it was a pleasure to see you, but I don't really like to lie.
As you speak, he looks up, and he kind of taps his lips a few times. Well, what do we have here? It has been quite a time since I've seen you last. Party crashes are no fun. I suspect that you are headed somewhere you shall not be. Tell me, what was so important that you did not come to my dinner? I gave all that effort, we got the nice wine. It was very sad.
Dinner?
I think we left you a note. Did you not get?
Well, no, I did not read the note. I give notes, I do not read them. I made Rahadin read it. He said it was worthless.
Dimitri, who is this guy?
This this is Strahd.
Is he now?
How do you see? We were busy with we were on a mission from the abbot, and we had to complete that. It was all stated in the note.
Have you gone mad like the abbot? What a crazy person. He thinks he's doing holy work. What task would you have to do for the abbot?
I don't know. He said it was for a gift for you.
A gift? What sort of gift? I don't know how you appreciate gifts. I had made a song just for you. I was going to play it for you at dinner and everything. But now you've ruined it.
It was he's trying to. I don't really want to ruin the surprise. It was a surprise for you, and he's been working on it very.
Yeah, well, if it makes Toti happy, perhaps I'll give the abbot another chance. The place he dwells in, it is bad memory from me. Markovia, may her bones rest in pieces. Very well. What are you doing in this part of the land? A little birdie said so. I did not know that you'd be so prepared for the cold.
A bird, huh? Was it a raven?
Yeah, maybe a bird was a bit misleading. It was several birds, about 20.
Well, I mean, you've asked us a good few questions, isn't it? Part of being a host, as you like to say, to answer some questions in return.
You may ask me whatever you want, Lassie, but that doesn't mean that I have to answer.
I'll get my answer one way. All right, devil. I hear you have a skull that doesn't belong to you, and I'm wondering where it is.
Such mean words for such a small little bug. If skulls are what you want, perhaps I give you one of your friend's skulls, if you ask nicely.
Maybe I can bash yours in a bit too. There's a certain dragon you felled many years ago, and you did something to him.
Ah, it's a bit of improvement, I would have to say. Silver dragon is not a very nice color in this land. No, silver is a disgusting color indeed. Much prettier now, much better. I like what happened to him. Yeah, perhaps you can find him around. I believe he lives nearby. I warn you though, if you speak to me such a way again, you little Barovian, you will not be so good anymore.
Why?
Well, I have a bit of a dinner planned. Since you did not come to the first dinner, I was so graciously going to host for you all. I figured I would host another next time I saw you. It did take a bit of a menu changing, depending on the location. I always want to make sure that the food is appropriate for where we are. But yes, yes, it seems that it is very appropriate. You have come dressed for the occasion, I see.
I feel like I'd get a little bit of a pass. I don't think I was invited to your first dinner, to be fair.
I'm sorry, but I think we're going to have to decline the invitation for the second dinner. We are extremely busy.
Yeah, well, I can sit here and wait. I've got all the time in the world. And Tati is not too happy how the dinner went anyways. A bit of time away might do her some good. They say space is the great healer.
Well,
By the way, I one of you is missing. A very interesting lass. She seemed to fit the bill. You know, I tend to like girls that end in A, N-A. You know, Marina, Patrina, Tatiana, Irina. Aye, Sarina, that was her name. She fascinated me. Oh, yes, she was quite fascinating.
Sounds like a weirdo.
she she had to go take care of some business elsewhere.
Well, that is sad news, but perhaps I will see her again another time. I'll have to welcome her to my land another day. For now, I will have my fun with you all. Dinner will be hosted shortly. I figure we have a picnic here on this beautiful bridge. Watch your steps, a few pieces are missing. The walls are mostly intact though. And indeed, the bridge has like little low walls that enclose the stone bridge. It definitely has fallen away in a few places, but the bridge appears to be intact.
Well, Dimitri, it seems like he's not going to let us cross. I don't suppose you think we could circumvent it by somehow getting around the bridge, do you?
I don't think we can climb down and climb back up. Seems a bit too dangerous. But
That cloak.
perhaps Strahd. Right, I forgot. We we spoke to your mother. She would like to see you.
You kind of seem scowl a bit. There's no mother here. Queen Ravanova has died long ago. I saw to that. She rests in the
No,
bottom of
no.
my castle. I do not know what this is you taunting me with. I offer you dinner twice, and you continue to taunt me.
I'm not taunting you. Well, she said she was your mother. We went through the ruins of Berez, and she said that she was your mother, and she missed you.
Fair, if Baba Lysaga was my mother, I'd try to hide that too.
Ah, I see. That witch. Yes, she was quite a good nurse mother, but always hanging over my head like a buzzing aircraft of sorts. Just nagging, 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 always wanting attention. Oh, it drive me crazy. Teach you this, dark spell that, puppet here, puppet there. I'm not into puppets. Well, yes. Bubble Sucker is quite an impressive woman. But no, I threw her from the castle many years ago.
Well, she does miss you dearly.
Would you like to see her again?
I have no intention of seeing that witch again.
Well, that didn't work. Look, well, we're not going to be able to stay for lunch or the picnic or anything. We're very busy. We need to cross this bridge and be on.
Yeah, certainly you have a bit of time. Everyone needs to eat. Yeah. And he kind of snaps his finger, and you see like a really nice, beautiful blue and white picnic blanket spread out across the bridge, about like kind of 30 feet into the bridge. And it's got chalices and bottles of wine and decadent food. Looks quite nice.
Um, no, I think we're all set. Thank you. We just had breakfast.
How far away would you say this food is?
Like 30 feet, so like 3 squares from you. No, it doesn't. You don't detect any poison or disease.
Uh,
Yeah,
well, and Serva's gonna relay that. Well, I don't know. Seems like he actually wants to eat. I still don't want to take part of it, but it doesn't seem like it's some kind of trick.
I'm sorry. We're really going to have to decline. We don't have.
Well, you see, I had hoped that we could talk things over and could persuade you to come back to my castle. But if that must be, then I guess I will have to wait here and bar your way. For you see, I have not let anyone travel to the east of here in many years, and I do not think I want to let you either.
Well,
Kazan was a bit of a strange fellow, but I let him go through. But he has helped me plenty since.
do I know the story of the sun? Like, did the sun sword like relay the story, like that the whole Kazan tried to destroy it? Is that something that I would know, or is that just something that's on the sun sword page?
Yeah, you might. Hold on. Maybe it's been kind of. Let's see. You would recognize Kazan also as the name that was in the Van Richten's tower. Um,
Yeah, I know it from there, and then it's also in the sun sword description, but I'm not sure if I would know that from being attuned to it.
I had forgotten it was there.
If not, I can forget I know it. I
You
just
would
didn't
get.
want to act on it.
Oh, you wouldn't know the exact things, but the sword knows this. So as the sword hears the name, I mean, one, like the sword is like absolutely driving you to try to go and destroy this rod. You're getting so many impulses of attacking and rage, but you kind of get a little another blip of rage as the name Kazan comes out.
Well, I don't think Kazan did as good of a job as you. And I'll pull out the hilt and then activate the sword.
As the Sun Sword activates, you see Strahd himself kind of recoil a bit. What? What have you? Sergei's blade. Where did you find this? What, what devilry? Sergei.
Oh, you
Well,
don't like that, huh?
it is certainly a bad memory. It seems that what was tasked long ago never came to fruition. Well,
And as he's taking time to talk, I just want to keep using my actions to make the radius of it go out by 5 feet. So
you see him stride forward a bit, and Bucephalus like straight towards the sunlight. He seems to be pondering to himself. He steps a bit farther.
As he approaches, Serv is going to pull out the death knell.
And I'm gonna pull out Matilda.
Cool. And it's sunlight and the bright light, right?
Yeah. So I don't know how many actions he's taking, but like I can only make it go out by 15 more feet, which would take 3 actions. So I would just have
You
it
can do
go
so.
out as far as okay.
He's kind of striding forward quite slowly. It's like he's in thought. You kind of hear him mumbling, Kazan and Sergei. What were they doing? As he kind of enters the dim light of his sunlight, he looks up again. Oh, what? I hope you enjoy your dinner. Well, I must be going now. Yes. Dinner is served.
As he's talking, I'll take a couple steps forward to try and get him into the bright light.
As the sunlight hits Strahd, it fades away into ash, Bucephalus and Strahd. But you see Strahd you hear a voice cackle above you. You thought you had me. And you see like Strahd like maybe about 100 feet up with a great organ, kind of an organ piece flying there in the air. And he begins to play a song. And you hear a screeching call as the song begins. Enjoy your dinner, my pet. And I have some artwork for you as you hear the flapping of great wings come swooping down from the hillside, the mountainside behind you.
It's like a side quest came to us.
Yeah. As you see this massive, beaked, winged creature come flying down out of the sky.
Oh, gee.
Everyone, roll initiative.
Dun dun dun.
I'm going to use my inspiration for it before I forget.
That's crazy. 2 nat 1s on initiative.
Uh, 10. That's a little better.
Cool. Strahd is floating, kind of sitting at the organ, 100 feet up. The rock it looks like about 100 feet up too, kind of coming down the slope. But Nisha, you're the first to react as you see this great flying beast come soaring straight for you all at a great, incredible pace.
Oof, that was actually an excellent sort of an accidental click there. She's been sort of holding Casimir back as he's been like shaking with anger, and just saying like calm brother, calm. And then seeing the rock in place, she'll finally take her hands off him. She'll kind of take her canteen and throw some water into the air as it forms into kind of the cylindrical shards of ice that float around her. And I will cast my meteor spell, but I'll cast it at 4th level, so I get 8 of them. And then I will send 2 at the rock for a potential. That's shitty damage. Potential 9 damage. Woo! With a dexterity save.
It might be out of range, unfortunately. 120 feet.
Yeah, 120 feet. Oh, is it too far?
Yeah, it's like he's like 100 feet up.
Because it's up.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Would I have known that before I cast the spell? Or...
Yeah. You would have known your spell. I wasn't sure what the range was, but.
Gotcha. Okay. Nicia will step over here and she will use sorry, trying to figure out where it is. I will expend 2 sorcery points to cast my special darkness spell on me. That allows me to see through. So I think that's 20-foot radius. So yeah, so I'll cast it essentially right on me. So you'll just see like this giant sphere of darkness envelop me as I kind of disappear into the shadows. And then I will pass turn after. Oh, weird. I don't see a done button.
Oh, it's not. Yeah, I guess API is off. I don't know why. That's okay. No worries. I'll just let me know when done.
No problem. Yeah.
Rudolph, your turn.
Yeah. So yeah.
All right. Yeah, Rudolph is going to. Man, he has. Does this look like it's alive or
the rock looks very
rock?
alive, very
Okay.
alive.
Then he is going to. Crap. All right, he does have a bunch against flying stuff. Yeah, he's gonna he'll cast guidance on. He'll cast guidance on Winrel, and then he'll cast sanctuary on himself, and then call it, and then he'll move to kind of under the tree, kind of behind the tree, to trying not to get hit if the rock's trying to do a flyby or something, and then he'll call that.
Cool. Dodge. Kind of moved on, or took some cover.
Yeah, so guidance on Winrel, so she has the 1d4 on ability check. Oh, it's only ability checks. But still, you have it, and then sanctuary on himself, and that's it.
Nice. Strahd kind of continues to play his song. What? Had fun. Had a nice dinner. Wine afterwards. Your turn, Dimitri.
I'm going to step. Yeah, Dimitri's going to step here and fire a couple shots at Strahd. Try and, I don't know, just. One, the sword's compelling him to, and then also he wants to try and avenge Jensen as much as he can. And so he just kind of yells out, "This one's for Jensen." And yeah, he's going to take a couple shots with Matilda. And Strahd is definitely undead, right?
Yeah, definitely undead.
Yeah, you don't see maybe everybody, I'm not sure if anybody would notice, but the gun doesn't radiate purple anymore, but it seems like each of the bullets is maybe slightly glowing They look like they're slightly glowing, like white with almost like a radiant light. And I'm gonna spend 3 grit points to do violent shot.
What's your range?
With the Matilda, it is. I know I have it written down somewhere.
Because he's also 100 feet up.
It's 80 to 320.
Oh, okay, cool. That's good. Yeah. So it's in the disadvantage range.
Yeah, it's fine. We'll see if this hits. Putting everything into one shot, so 3 grit points on to make it super violent. And then I will, because that would technically be a misfire because of the 3 grit points, so I'll use a luck point to. Oh my god, that's that's a misfire.
As the first one comes out, that would hit Strahd actually. Just hit Strahd.
Well, you said it was disadvantage, right?
Oh, disadvantage. Sorry.
So that was just one bullet. That's why I re-rolled the 12 because it was
out of range.
Because of the amount of grip points I put into it, the 4 is a.
Oh, so it's just a misfire. My bad. I was looking at 21 and then 12. I was thinking there were 2 different shots, but there's just disadvantage rolling.
Yeah, sorry, I forgot to put disadvantage
on.
Oh,
no worries.
But yeah, that is. I guess that's technically my turn because I'll use my second one to try and unjam the gun. My second attack to try and unjam it.
Do you auto succeed now?
Pretty much because I think it's a 10 and my Tinkerer's Tools is a 9.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. You auto succeed. I guess you could roll a 1. So we'll roll. You're not technically supposed to get a crit fail on this, but nah. You'll see your auto succeed. Yeah. Cool. Sorry to make you waste a good roll. I guess 13 is not that great. You got a huge bonus.
And then I guess that's it. Just kind of like be like, no, this is kind of mumbling under my breath. No. And then that's it.
Strahd kind of gets a bit annoyed. What? You shoot me. I offered you dinner twice now, and now you will become the dinner. No more taunting, Strahd. And kind of twirls his fingers as he can play the next note, the next part of the song. And the rock begins to swoop down at extraordinary pace, just flying super, super fast. So it'll fly 60 feet this way.
Oh, I forgot to move. I should have moved.
And then it kind of circles a bit as it flies about another 20 feet this way. Imposing itself between Strahd and the rest of you. So that's 80 total. And it'll kind of begin to flap its wings down as it takes a 40-foot descent. So now it's only 60 feet up. And it's just going to take the dodge action. Casimir's turn.
Casimir, who's no longer restrained by Nesia, is going to run. Oops, that's the wrong cursor. Is going to run up, kind of barreling through Elward, and just be yelling, Strahd! Strahd! And then he will throw a fireball up at him.
Cool. I have to ask again, what's the range?
It's 150 feet, which should reach. I just pulled up the old hypotenuse equation on Google.
Thank you.
So 85 away, 100 feet up. I should be able to reach 131 feet, but via hypotenuse.
We might have to use it some more.
I was gonna say your math teacher always said you'd never use that like in real life, but okay, D&D, that's where it comes in. So he'll run up, just kind of seething with anger, and then we'll throw a fireball at Strahd.
Cool. He's not even going to try to dodge. He's just going to use his legendary resistance and dodge as he's playing the piano. I can't counterspell because it's too far. Too far away. So he'll take half of that, 14 fire, as the fireball swirls all around Strahd von Sarevich. It kind of the explosion clears, and it looks like it didn't touch him at all, or hurt or damage him at all. Piano intact.
Cool.
The piano looks a little spectral,
Cool.
like an illusion.
And Casimir will pass his turn after.
Serva, your turn.
So you can ready an action and still use your bonus action, right?
Yeah, of course.
Okay. And so can I ready a channel divinity as my action?
Yeah, it's an action. Yeah.
Okay, so first is my bonus action. I'm gonna cast Divine Favor just on myself. And I've got the Death Knell, and then I want to hold the action, I'm gonna move a bit closer to Dimitri. And I'm gonna hold the action to use my channel divinity on the rock if it comes in range, like if it comes towards me or Dimitri, like if it comes within that 30 feet.
Oh, nice. Is it a charm?
It's not a charm, it just paralyzes them.
It's just, yeah, cool. It's like a fear thing.
Yep.
But not quite fear.
Yeah, so that's just, if it gets within that range, I'm gonna use it on it.
Cool.
And that's my turn.
Cool. Winrail, your turn.
Okay, and how high is the bird now?
60 feet up.
Damn it. Damn, I'm like so close. Okay, well, that plan is out the window, sorry. I will... Okay. I am going to use all of my magic missile charges on Strahd. Let me see. I have 6, I guess. Oh wait. You can use an action to pull off one of the stars and use it to cast Magic Missile as a 5th level spell.
Correct.
Oh, I guess I just cast it one time as a 5th level spell?
Right. It should be 4 plus 7 bolts.
Okay, got it.
And that's within range, I believe?
Yes, that's what I was checking. It didn't ask me the level. Crap.
That's okay. That's how I roll. You times it by the amount of bolts. You just roll 1d4. So that's perfect. That's max damage. So 5 times 7 is 35. As 5 bolts of energy come flying out straight for... You're aiming at Strahd, right?
Yes.
As they fly straight towards Strahd, you see him kind of flick one finger up as he's getting ready to play a note really intensely. But as he does, this magical barrier comes out as he casts Shield, and it blocks the bolts.
Okay. That is it for me.
Elward, becomes your turn.
This is turning out to be a bad round. But I'm gonna change it up. I know it's dodging, but let's just switch up the strategy a little bit, and I'll focus a firebolt at the rock. Dwayne the Rock. One ray of frost, but I saw its movement, so 10 feet's not gonna do anything to it, so yeah, just firebolt.
Boom! That is a hit. As the firebolt shoots out and strikes into the rock. Dwayne looks uninjured. It took the macro is not, the API is not working, but he did take the damage.
Nice. Let's see, and then I'll have Ada step up in front of me, and I'll for a minute, her AC is gonna increase as her gears turbocharge. Yeah, she's gonna stand in front of me to protect me, and that's my turn.
Very nice.
No API, so yeah, that's my turn.
Nisha.
Nisha's gonna take a few steps forward toward the edge of her darkness so that she can see. I can't. Crap! I gotta move it so I can move forward. There we go. And she is going to call down an ice storm on the rock.
Nice. Dex save, right?
Yeah, DC 16 Dex save.
That is a failure. As it becomes difficult terrain to fly through this area. And take some damage.
And that's unfortunately all I got at that range. Man, is Fireball 100?
Fireball's pretty far, yeah.
Oh man, that blows. Yeah, because Ray of Frost is only 60. Oh man, that blows.
Yeah, Fireball's 120.
All right, cool. That's all Nisha's got. Pass her.
Yeah, I think it's more of a balancing. If you can shoot it far and reduce their speed, then it won't be fun for DM.
Yeah. Rudolph, becomes your turn.
Yeah. He is going to cast Dispel Evil and Good on him. So Winrow, the guidance would go away. Sorry.
He's gonna cast what?
Dispel Evil and Good. It's a concentration on himself. I'll just throw it.
Okay, it's like protection from evil and good, but a little better.
Yeah. And then he will move. I guess he'll move up to. He'll move up to here and kind of in here, get out of the way for now. And then that's his.
Stradvin, Seraphich is gonna go. You see as more and more of you move into range, he kind of begins to play quite intensely, and well, raw dinner is not very good. Perhaps well done tonight. And he's gonna cast Fireball in such a way that it hits right here. It's Winrail, Dimitri, Serva, and Rudolph. I need a dexterity saving throw from you guys.
Yeah, you can see in there.
Yeah, I'm gonna give it to him because you guys could target him. He's not targeting Rudolph. He's targeting like Dimitri and Winrail, and just the fireball would spread over to Rudolph. Uh, 20 is a pass. It's 36 damage on a failure. 36 fire damage. 13 is a fail. 4 is a fail. 19 is a pass. So 36 on a failure, 18 on a pass. And that's all Strahd's going to do. He's not going to use legendaries or anything like that yet. Dimitri, becomes your turn. As you get scorched a bit by the flame.
Hold on.
Roasted bugs, your favorite for my pet. Go ahead, eat all you want.
That was to see if he kept concentration on the dispel good.
Oh
yeah,
yeah,
I gotta do that for divine favor.
Is that ice storm on the bridge?
it's 100 feet up and it's 60 feet. So I imagine it's probably. Oh, I don't know. You have to ask Nija, I guess.
I think it's the column itself is only, it's a 40-foot high column. So I'm not sure
Oh.
how we want to. It's 20-foot radius, 40-foot high column. So I'm not sure how we play that with respect to if I centered it on where the rock was, so the rock would take the damage.
Yeah, you'd probably want to center on the rock because the rock itself is like 20 feet high, like 25 feet high.
Yeah, so yeah, it'd be centered on the rock. So yeah, so presumably that would be that would still be, it'd be
too high to be on the bridge because it's 60
sorry,
feet up.
Yeah.
Okay, so the bridge is unobscured by the ice.
Yeah, it's not difficult terrain on the bridge.
Okay,
Correct.
Does it look like I could run across the bridge?
Yeah. I mean, it looks to be well outside, like a few pieces. And maybe it's like slightly slippery, but not too slippery that it's like hazardous. Yeah, it looks like it's well made. You could go run across if you so wish.
Yeah, because I'm gonna use just to ungroup us up, and the rock can't possibly protect him from two sides. I'm going to dash across, bonus action dash, and then use my action to dash to get all the way into this that side. And then actually I will I'll stop here for now, and then I'll use my action to fire 2 shots at Strahd as a run. Both at disadvantage.
Oh yeah, go for it. His shield is no longer up because his turn went by. A 21 would be a hit. As your bullet hits the mark, you see it kind of fire into Strahd's shoulder as he's playing. The bullet seems to sink in and then begins to fall back out, and Strahd just laughs. Not strong enough.
Even with the extra undead damage I did?
Even with the extra undead, the 10 damage, well, I can't explain why, but it didn't do damage.
Okay. No biggie. And then I will just use the last of my movement to get in there. And then that is...
That's you? Cool.
Yeah, sorry, that was me.
The rock is going to pursue, as it seems like Strahd is quite intent, kind of commanding this bird. It can't quite reach in there, It doesn't have the wingspan as it kind of buffets against this this area, this gatehouse over here. It tries to like break into the wall itself as it smashes into the wall. It doesn't break the wall, but like a hole in the wall kind of it's knocked out. About like a 3-foot diameter hole kind of gets broken out, Dimitri, out of the wall, but the wall's still intact.
Okay.
Casimir's turn.
Casimir, still furious, is going to take another step, maybe not up, but maybe a little bit up the hill, and he's going to launch another.
It does fly at a lower range, Serva, but it has 120 flying speed, so it was only about 30 feet down. 40 feet. Yeah, it's only about 80 feet forward.
Ooh, bad dice, bad dice.
Okay, so I didn't get in range. All right.
Sorry. As Casimir
Not a
fires
great
out,
roll there.
once again the fireball. It's just going to use his legendary resistance. He's not going to try to dodge. He's going to continue his song. So he'll take 10 from this fireball as he plays his song. Poor little soul. I will tell Batrina about this. She will get a kick out of it. Well, if she could hear me. But that is long ago. She was so sweet. She tasted as raspberries do on a summer eve.
And Casimir will yell some obscenities and end his turn.
Service turn.
So how high up in the air is it now since it attacked the
It came down
bridge?
30 feet. 30 feet so it could reach the gatehouse. The gatehouse is 30 feet high.
30 feet. So let's see how far my movement can.
So it's only 30 feet in the air.
Oh, well, that's still like 35 feet away from me, so that's definitely still out of range. I'm just gonna use my. Or do I have a spell there?
What is the range? 60?
No, it's 30.
Oh.
What are you going to do? I'm sorry?
Oh, because I was trying to use that channel divinity, but it's way out of range, so. I'm just gonna take the dodge action.
Cool. Winrail becomes your turn.
Okie dokie. Okay, I'll move. Okay, I can go from here. I had Dave check the math. And here goes nothing. I'm gonna try to banish the rock.
Cool.
Hopefully he's not a very charismatic bird.
He is not a charismatic bird.
Yes!
As you move within range of this great beast, and you're too far for counterspell, you cast out your spell. You kind of weave the sign, and the rock seems to gulp and then hiccup, and then just withdraw into a single puff as you see a large, a gargantuan blue feather kind of float down to the bridge, and the rock disappears.
And then I will move the rest, let's see, 15 feet. So I will just basically move back where I was, 5 feet further. And that is it.
Cool. Strahd is going to actually use his legendary action as he sees this happen. Well, that is not very fun. You're ruining my dinner. Well, my friend's dinner. You ruined my dinner. And he's going to move as a legendary action. Fly speed is 60 through 30. So he'll move 30 feet down towards the rock. So he's 70 feet away. I'm just going to kind of... he's going to move like this. But he's really going down more than anything. 30 feet down. Elward, your turn.
Elward is super confused right now. But I don't know if we can in a minute. I use 30 feet of my movement to move Happy Jack around, so get a better view of Strahd. And can I do concentrated attack on just the harp itself, but not Strahd?
Yeah, you can attack. You can try to attack the the organ.
Yeah. Sorry, I'm not musically inclined. I'm not good with instruments. The organ. Sounds pretty dark. Yeah, I'm gonna shoot the organ out of his hands, hopefully, maybe. Destroy it.
As you fire your bolt, it does hit the organ and kind of goes straight through it. The music kind of blips and you see the image of the organ kind of flutter a little bit, and the firebolt continues to kind of firing into the sky until it fizzles out. What? Don't not mess with my toys. What are you doing? You have your own toys to play with.
Okay, don't waste your time on Strahd. It's just an illusion. Let's get out of here. And then I'll use the rest of my movement to go up. I can still cast spells, but you can't touch it. Your Strahd must be nearby or using some sort of magic item.
You're aimed at the organ, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, you definitely get the sense that the organ's an illusion. Nisha, it becomes your turn.
Ooh, this is just not, it's not a great range for me here. Okay, I guess for my action, I will cast my, I will summon my meteors, just at normal level 3, so just I will move closer. How high is Strahd up now?
70 feet.
Okay, let's see, can I do 70 feet? Let's see, how far away am I? 60, 62, 65. Okay, yeah, 190, 95.5. Okay, cool. Okay, so yeah, so as I get closer, making my way forward, I will let two 2 of the shards, ice shards fly forward at
Oh, nice. Go for it. Cool. He'll give you some deck saves now. He was not too worried about things, but when he took away his rock, 15 and 12, both are failures. As 1, 2, both of those hit and explode out, doing 12 total cold damage. But you see Strahd seems to not be affected by this at all, still.
Yeah, that was my hope, was just that taking the bird away would make him leave.
Okay. Yep. So that's my action, and I'll pass turn.
Rudolph's turn. At both at the end of your turn, Strahd's going to use another legendary action. As he comes down, like weaving his character, he comes down another 30 feet. So he's 40 feet up now. Rudolph's turn.
Rudolph is just going to come out here and cast Cure Wounds at level 4 on. So 22 healing.
Sorry, you cut out. Was that on me?
Yeah, sorry, the 22 to you,
Excellent.
Winrel.
Awesome.
And then he will pull out the silvered short sword, his cane, and move forward onto the bridge a little bit and get ready as it looks like Strahd's coming down. And then that is.
Cool. At the end of your turn, I think that's about the right range he wants to be. Strahd's gonna cast a spell. Bring my birdie back, and dinner would be ruined without it. And so he's gonna cast another spell. He's too far away to cast what he wanted to cast. Oh, no. He's gonna use his move, his fly speed. He's gonna fly down 40 and be at level, and then fly 20. Yeah. And he's gonna cast a spell at you, Woodrell. I need a Constitution saving throw, Winrel, as he points a bejeweled finger straight towards you. You feel your life
I think
force.
he's close enough for me to counterspell.
Perhaps so.
Yeah, I think he moved into range, 60 feet from me, right? Yep. Yeah, he moved into range, so I will attempt to counterspell.
Which one? Who are you counting? Which one are you?
Nisha? Strahd.
Oh no.
Sorry. Yeah, because I didn't assume. I assumed Casimir couldn't see him from his vantage point.
Okay. As you go to counterspell Strahd, Strahd kind of sees you. No. And as will counterspell your counterspell.
Yeah, somebody give me inspiration on this.
Yeah, you can use mine.
That is high enough, so you'll take half damage, which is 17 necrotic. And then go ahead and roll for concentration. Nice, you keep concentration. That's Strahd.
Nice. Yeah, I'll come out. Oh shit! See that he's. Let's move him into some sunlight. So I'm gonna move. That was 5, and then I can move to. I can. He's not. Is he in it right? Like the bright light or no?
Yeah, it looks like it. Because he's at the same level as you all.
Okay, so I'll move there so he's in the sun, and then I will use my last round that I have current. Oh no, I have 3 more rounds. Never mind. I will take 2 shots with Matilda. No longer at disadvantage.
He's gonna take that damage, and it does this time as you. On the first one you hit, you see that your bullets sink into him, and he screams. It seems to actually do damage this time.
And then I'll use my final luck point because I really want to hit him.
That is another hit, and this one also does some damage.
And then bonus action, second wind. And that's my turn.
At the end of your turn, Strahd's gonna move a little bit out of the way, like use his legendary action to move, like out of it, and 30 feet up. Casimir, your turn.
As kind of Strahd rises, this structure is this structure like how tall is this?
30 feet up.
Okay, so I could maybe just see Strahd kind of cresting over
Yeah.
it if I step up. Okay, great. So yeah, so Casimir will take a step up, and again, still kind of screaming. He will let loose another fireball.
You can do so. He's gonna try to dodge. And fails. Takes 29 fire damage this time as the fire seems to scorch his skin.
And Casimir's obscenities will continue to continue in some sort of dust.
At the end of your turn, he'll use his legendary action to move another 30 feet up into the air, fly up. He's 60 feet up now. Your turn, Serva.
Well, pretty sure that cloak probably requires attunement, so I don't think I can actually do anything. Let me see what my movement can do. I'm going to use 20 points of lay on hands on wind. So Winrel heals for 20, and then I'm going to use my last 10 feet. And just moved her right there.
I don't know if it's relevant, but I don't need 20.
Oh. How many do you need? Okay, I thought you were more injured than that. Where was I then?
Yeah, Rictavio healed me a fair amount.
Okay. All right, Dimitri, you get 20.
All right.
I'm just gonna move over here, twiddling my thumbs. That's my turn.
Cool. Winrel, your turn.
All right. I'm gonna go for magic missile again.
Okay, yeah, go for it.
I assume he's in range, right?
Yeah, still within range for sure. Oh, he would have used his third legendary to go 90 feet up, but he still would be in range.
Ooh, boo.
One was max and one was minimum. He has used his reaction, so he's not going to shield. But 2 times, you did another star one, so it's 7 volts, right?
Yeah.
14 force damage as all 7 bolts find their home and strike into Strahd von Zarevich.
I'm gonna move max distance just to try to keep that bird gone, and I will pass turn.
Your turn, Elward. He's 90 feet up.
How many feet?
90.
Up. It's firebolt. Ding. So, yeah, it seems like we're all starting to hit him now, so I'll shoot out a firebolt and to make sure, hopefully, that I hit. I use my GM inspiration.
Boom, go for it.
Try to get this momentum going.
21 is going to be a hit for 10 fire. And Strahd is scowling with rage.
I don't want to take a fireball, so I don't want to clump up with everybody, so I'll move over here behind this tree. Am I within 45 for Happy Jack? Yes, I am. And Ada, yep. That's all my movement. I'll keep my puppets there. They look pretty okay there. Yep, that's the turn.
Cool. Anisha, becomes your turn.
Let's see. Nisha is going to spend some of her movement to get up into this walkway here, and fire off two of her remaining 4 meteors. Consistent 12.
23 and 15. 1 pass, 1 failure. So he'll take a total of 8 damage.
And then I'll retreat just to kind of the backside of the
Indeed, kind of ticking away over and over as you see Strahd actually begin to kind of drop this black ichor kind of dripping from his person. And he looks injured, actually. Rudolph, becomes your turn.
Unfortunately, the only thing Rudolph could do is he's out of range for, so alright, he can't make it to Winrel. But he's going to he's gonna do one of the only things he really can do, even though it might waste a spell slot. He's going to ready a hold person if he gets within range. So within 6.
Cool. And if it does, it'll still use a spell slot if it doesn't, even if it doesn't.
Yeah, I know, but he has no range attacks, and he doesn't have any he doesn't even have cantrips that he can fire at range. So it's like the only thing he could really.
No worries. Anything else?
No, he's gonna do that. Yeah, just.
Strahd goes as he flies out of 60 feet up into the air. You see him kind of, the organ disappears. The music stops. Well, I see what kind of menace you all be. This is the last time Strahd takes it easy on you. Good night! And you see him disappear as he goes greaterly invisible at 150 feet. Does anyone have any abilities that can reach that far? An invisible target?
Nah.
A wave goodbye.
I mean, I could take a shot, but it would be a blind shot at disadvantage, and I wouldn't even bother because if I don't know where he went.
That'll end combat with Strahd, but we found that we could actually injure him. That we had an effective fight against Strahd. That he had to run. He was in fear. The first time you've ever seen the devil have fear in his eyes. And we handled this bird quite well. So I think if you hold the concentration for the full time, it's permanent, right?
That's only if it's from another plane.
Oh, then what's the length of the duration?
I think it's a
A
minute.
minute.
Winrel, you know your spell is counting down seconds until this great beast reappears. What do you all do?
GTFO.
We've got about 48 seconds, I think. Let's get out of here.
I would run back to the tower. I would suggest going back to the tower just to wait for it to reappear, then hopefully fly off. And
We have no time for suggesting. Just do it.
Yep, just run.
I just gotta run to the tower.
We
Just be
all
like, to the
dash.
tower.
Dash into the tower.
Yeah, I think it looks like we could definitely make it in time if we
Oh, yeah.
dash.
Server kind of dashes reluctantly.
As a bit of time goes by and you're dashing away, you see the bird reappear and screech a call, and then it continues to fly off towards the north. That'll end combat and our session for tonight.
Well, that was a
Hey.
great session. That was super fun.
Yeah, I totally agree. I'm super glad you guys had fun.
I am super pumped that we finally made him run away. It's been so bad. Just every time he shows up, we're just like, all right, do whatever you're gonna do.
It was like, all right, who's gonna die this time?
It's a morale booster for sure.
He had full intentions to kill another one of you guys too. Like
No
that was the
surprise.
trigger to stop the fight this time for him to leave. It was going to take one of the life. But unless you guys won, which you did.
I don't have to role play it out, but I think with that, I think like coupled onto this because like I think Serva's growing increasingly frustrated of like the past two fights that she's been like almost useless. What with no range and then not being able to hit Baba. She like debates it for a moment and then she just kind of hastily remembers that conversation and just kind of remembers what Vladimir said, like whatever, and she's just saying whatever it takes. And she puts on the cloak.
Awesome. As you spend some time with this cloak wearing it and feeling it about, you'll have to attune to it, but this is what you find. And I'll let you know what else happens. But that's the positive benefits you get from it, as you attune to the carrion shroud.
All right. Hey, she got a reason. She is pissed. But that was still a fun session. I had fun. She just didn't.
Holy crap. That is crazy good.
Yeah, it's a good magic item indeed.
Good one. Oh, so far it's good. We don't know what the bad is.
Did I like miss something? I don't understand. You have triple
Ravenous
digits hit points. I have 52.
I have a +3 in Constitution, and I took the tough feat at level 8. So I had 92, and now this makes me hit 100.
There you go.
Nice.
How many do you have, Elward?
What?
Oh, how many hit points do you have?
I'm not Civius with the Pendant of Health. I just got like 40. But with my
Oh,
puppets,
fun.
I got 100 plus. But remember, my puppets don't heal magically, so they just stay there. I'm essentially 40 HP with like 60 temporary HP.
Server, you're totally aware of the effects. You immediately feel what's going on through your heart and your body and your soul. So feel free to roleplay that in our upcoming sessions.
Yep.
No, sir, was emo. Okay, yes.
Oh, great session.
Great session.
Yeah, for sure.
It really
All
is.
right.
It really is a confidence booster now that we made him run at one.
I thought it was super bold to reveal the Sun Sword the way you did. That was a big trigger for him. If it wasn't obvious, the Rock was totally going for you because of that.
Oh yeah, no, I knew that. I that's what I figured, and it was like I was trying to roleplay it where like Dimitri wanted to keep it a secret, but it's like the sword also was like, no, do it.
Yeah, the sword is like a vengeful spirit, almost like a vengeance paladin sort of thing.
Yeah, so I was like, I've role played it where I was like trying to get him to just go away so I could keep it a secret, but since he didn't want to go away. All right, sword, let's do.
How damn frustrating is to hit Strahd with these big spells and attacks, and it's like, damn it, didn't do anything.
I was starting to think like, is this like what Elward said? It's just like a hologram, but then it just seems like, oh, okay, we just need like actual light to damage him.
Yeah, I don't know if he has like. This is more meta game talk, but I don't know if he has like a damage resistance, because that's what it seems like, or it needs like light to weaken him so he actually takes the damage, because that's also what it.
Yeah, it just depends. I mean, it may just be. I don't know. I mean, he's a super special vampire. Can't really be the lord of the land without being able to be immune to a few spells.
Right. But no, it's like damage too. It's like you didn't do enough damage, so it's almost like he has like heavy armor master type of deal where you have to go over a certain threshold in order to deal any damage to him. Because I've hit him a few times now, and that was the first time I was ever able to do damage, and it was only while he was in the light. So I'm not sure if that's like him being touched by the light weakened him enough for everybody to hit him with something.